I'm considering paying for a guy to flirt with my wife.
Why?
I, 27 male, have been married to my wife, 29 female, for 2 years. But we've been best friends since high school. Recently, we were getting ready for a party. She was having a hard time. She was getting frustrated because her hair was weird, her makeup didn't look right, and nothing fit quite right. I suggested my favorite dress of hers, and she said she looked like a potato in it. She got so frustrated, she almost gave herself a breakdown. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't always have the answers. We only know what we do know, so let us know what you would do in the comments. Opie says, during this, she asked me why I was with her. She says she's like a 5 on a good day, but that's being generous. I told her not to lie to herself. I've always felt like she's a solid 7 on a bad day and a 10 and beyond when she's all dolled up. I tried to reassure her that she could wear a trash bag and draw a mustache on her face with raccoon eyes, and I still think she's the most attractive woman in the room.
Aww.
And as her husband, my opinion is the only one that matters. This made her giggle and seemed to boost her spirits. Moments like this aren't uncommon because she's always had body image issues. It doesn't help that her sister is an Instagram model with tons of followers, and the few friends she has like to talk about random guys in their DMs or guys at the club who try to pick them up. Okay, simple solve here.
You pay a guy to flirt with your wife
Okay, that's plan Z.
to improve her mood
Plan A,
and confidence.
you surround her with different friends.
I agree. Yes, that is the real plan. It's saying, hey, your friends are maybe a bad influence on you
Yeah.
and making you feel bad about your body.
This is so weird. At the party, one of her friends asked why we were late. My wife told her it was hard to find something that looked good. Her friend said, you look okay. And you're married, so it's not that big of a deal.
Bye. Yeah, you need new friends, girl. You need new friends. I'm sorry if my friend came in and was like, yeah, I couldn't find anything to wear. I just wasn't feeling good. I'm going, you look hot, girl. Hottie with the body. Damn.
But what if
I'm gassing her up.
But what if I genuinely do not like what you're wearing? And I'm like, you could have wore a different pair of pants.
Not if I'm already at the venue not telling me that.
If I'm at home, if I'm here and I come to you and say, hey, like, what do you think about this outfit? Yeah, sure. You could be like, eh. But if I'm at the venue and I say, yeah, like, I just had a really tough time, like, figuring out what to wear, I don't care if you think it's the ugliest thing I've ever worn.
You better be telling me you look great.
But what if you show up in an ugly outfit, but I already have one in my backpack I'm ready to give you?
Here you go. It's your birthday suit.
It better be. What?
What, Keon?
What?
There's just nothing in the bag?
Well, I always got that for Keon in my back pocket.
Anywho.
Dude, I'd love to see you caked up, jiggling around.
Ew, what?
You know, your wish could be coming true
No.
for your birthday.
Read
Yes!
the story. Read the story.
Oh my gosh. My wife shrugged and said, I know, I shouldn't care. Like you said, I'm married. So as long as my husband likes how I look, that's all that matters, right? It's just, I don't know. He's been in love with me forever, so I think his opinion is skewed. We all laughed and I made a comment about always having eyes for my wife. She smiled and said it's hard for her to believe she's attractive, as I claim since outside of me, she can count on one hand the number of times she's ever been hit on in her adult life. All the women around her have to beat people away with sticks, but her, she's been flirted with 3 times, all of which she told me when she got home.
Maybe, just maybe, it's because people respect you and you have a ring on your hand. Like, you know, you're married.
I think there's just different types of looks.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You know, just because you don't get, like, hit on the street by, like, strangers doesn't mean that you're not pretty.
Yeah, agreed. Once was a guy she had seen talk to 12 other women at closing time before he got to her and said, you're alone, I'm alone. Want to change that? Before she could respond, he said, never mind, and walked to another woman.
Ouch. Ooh, tough. Tough. Yeah, that's rough, man. That's rough.
Another was a guy who could barely speak English. All she could make out was him saying, you beautiful, we go your place. She said no, thank you. Then her friend heard him talk to his friends in Spanish about how she was a stupid American girl and something about easy green card if you call him pretty. Then he came up to my wife with a drink. She told him, no thank you, I'm married. He muttered under his breath and walked away. I don't like the third one.
Sad.
All right, we're getting this over with. The third guy was during her 21st birthday. This guy, who had to be in his 70s, walked up and was being obnoxiously flirtatious, but also ended up walking away. This, on top of her existing body image issues, makes her think she's not attractive outside of me and her ex, but we don't talk about him. The only time anyone has ever acknowledged her attractiveness were guys who were desperate with no other options. As she said, being a last resort or jailbait fantasy isn't really much of an ego boost. I don't get why anyone would think she was unattractive or why she isn't fighting men off. I say she looks like a mix of young Keira Knightley, young Winona Ryder, and mid-20s Anne Hathaway.
Bro, my mind would be Carly knows.
His head's already getting
She
big.
sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
But also, I will say, Winona Ryder didn't think that she was very pretty, and she's a gorgeous woman.
But apparently, she doesn't catch anyone's eyes like mine, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. More of her for me. At the party, I had a thought. Every month, we do a group date night with her friends, and I had the idea that I could invite some of my coworkers, or, if it came down to it, find some regulars I know at the bar and ask them to flirt with my wife, maybe even pay them if they're hesitant. Don't go too hard like they're trying to take her home, but some light flirting and a few compliments.
No, because if she ever finds out that you paid people to flirt with her, that's going to be like devastating to her self-confidence.
Have you not seen any TV shows?
Oh, this is not going to work out.
Have you not seen any TV shows where like the friends set them up on a date
Yeah.
that they put together? And
They like bribed them or like had a bet that they could take this person out, this girl out, and then she's like, I was just a bet. Don't do this, OP.
And then
have you done that?
No, I've never done that. I was going to say, and they start singing I Love You, Baby
Yeah.
on the school steps.
And then she reads a really sad poem in class.
It was about him.
The saddest thing is that I
And
don't
then he got her a
hate you
guitar
at
and
all.
that fixed it all.
Yeah, and then they were fine. That's not what's going to happen here, OP. Don't do this.
I figured having a few random guys complimenting her would give her an ego boost and maybe help her realize that she is actually attractive. But when I mentioned this idea to my sister, since she sometimes works at a bar, she said it was a terrible idea. Not because I'm asking guys to hit on my wife, but because if my wife ever found out the truth, she'd be devastated.
Exactly. She'd be like, oh, you had to pay people? It'd be devastating.
It'd be like, oh my gosh, what's that one movie with Jennifer Lawrence that just came out?
No hard feelings.
No Hard Feelings. Love that
Doesn't
movie.
he know that that's what's happening though?
At the end, there's this one scene.
Where she's naked and she fights people on the beach.
I wasn't going to talk about that one.
Yeah, but that's what you were thinking.
No, I was thinking about the one where she was on like those skate rolling things and she's trying to go up the stairs.
The skate roller
Oh.
things? You mean
Yeah.
the roller skates?
Roller skates, yeah. I'm not with it the day you got. Oh my, I can't even speak.
Skate rolly things.
I can't speak, guys. I'm so sorry. I can already see the comments from a month from now. I'm just going to get through this. Sorry if it's choppy.
It's okay with editors. Just
Please, editors,
Yeah.
please don't make it choppy.
Make it choppier.
My sister said, the poor girl already thinks she looks like a sad boiled egg.
Oh.
If you did this and she found out, she'd feel worse because, wow, the only time someone might think I'm attractive is when my husband pays them. And since you're at a bar, the chances of drunken yodels keeping their mouths shut about the truth is near impossible. Someone's going to slip, and all you can accomplish is losing money and hurting your wife. But I don't know what else to do to help my wife. Would I be the a-hole if I were to pay someone to flirt with my wife to help her boost her ego? We have an update.
I advise strongly against this. For your own sake, I advise against this. Do not do this, OP. Don't do this.
Don't do it.
Don't.
You are a very sweet guy. I see where you're coming from. Wrong approach.
Pay for therapy instead to boost your confidence.
Or, I don't know, go do something.
Shopping spree.
Shopping spree.
New outfits. Let's get her a haircut.
Maybe working out with her because I feel like
Sure.
I've-
Could be that.
sometimes like whenever you work out with someone and you both are like doing something hard, your endorphins go crazy and then you kind of have a bonding thing. Like you went through war together. I did that once with Keon.
All great options. Let's do that and not this idea.
Update. Before I respond to some things, just let me say that I appreciate the offer, but there is no need to send a message offering to hit on my wife. I've realized my mistake and will not be taking up any
Good.
offers.
Good.
Babe,
Good.
there's these random men on Instagram sending me pictures of their whatnots.
Yeah. Oh, no.
How did this
no.
happen?
Hope not. Ooh.
I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'll look into a lot of your suggestions and try that out. I'd only thought of this because one of her points was to why she didn't think she was attractive was that she never gets hit on. So I thought, if the lack of flirting is the problem, then wouldn't more flirting be the solution? As you've pointed out, that's a bad idea. My wife has recently started therapy, but it's slow work. She was hesitant for the longest time because she came from a family that believed if you can't fix your own problems, you're not really trying hard enough, and mental illness isn't real. Just get over it. It's all in your head.
I will say for her, I think therapy is going to be really helpful because I think a lot of what people are attracted to is confidence. I don't think you have to be conventionally attractive to have that. So I think if you project confidence, you'll find that more people are attracted.
I agree. Her friends aren't the best, but they're the only ones she has. It's very much a sunk cost fallacy type of deal because they've been friends since they were babies. I'll work on trying to get her out more to find new friends. But I know she already has started to distance herself from them a bit since their lifestyles and views don't align with hers anymore. Yes, I'm using my sister's account. Yes, my wife has read it. Yes, not the greatest idea. But I don't think she'll come across this post because she doesn't follow these types of forums. And I chose to use my sister's account instead of making a throwaway because if I had a throwaway, it'd still be on my phone. And my wife uses my phone all the time for random stuff. I thought if she found a Reddit notification and read the post, it'd blow the idea. So I asked my sister to use hers since I see her every day and I could keep up with things without risking my wife coming across a notification. It's still online, man.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Having those 3 instances of your wife being hit on, I think someone can kind of zero in and figure out it was about them.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yes, I rated her on a number scale. I know a lot of you instantly condemned me for that and for not saying she's a 10 all the time. Here's the thing. She likes to rate things. Herself, her food, shows, everything. She feels it's an easy way to put it into perspective about how she feels about something where words might not fully accomplish her feelings. And yes, I didn't say she was a 10 all the time, but that's because when I have said that in the past, she says, now I know you're lying. No one's a perfect 10 24/7. Heck, my sister has to spend so much time making herself look like a 10. So I've learned that she won't take it seriously if I say she's always a 10. She said she was a 5. And in her gauge, a 5 is an average person. That's why I said 7 at worst, because it's true as far as she believes. Even when she's at her worst, she's still better than your average person. Could I have told her in the moment that she's always a 10? Yes, but I know her enough to know that she'd roll her eyes and tell me to stop exaggerating. So I say a number to her that is more realistic. I wasn't worried that my wife would cheat on me in the scenario, as she's not one to cheat. We've been friends for years before we started dating. Before we dated, she had a boyfriend she started dating in high school. He was manipulative and would cheat on her and then turn it around like it was her fault that he cheated. Because of that, she has a disdain towards cheating. There was even a girl she was friends with who used to be the one to gas her up the most. This friend cheated on her boyfriend one time when blackout wasted, and my wife cut all contact with her because she has zero tolerance for cheating. So, no, I wasn't worried about that. And I had zero tolerance of you cheating whenever you watched other people's podcasts. You can only watch ours on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. And we have 73 days for you. Please press play and never listen to anyone else's. So, what do we think?
I think that your wife, it seems like she has a lot of really beautiful friends.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of very beautiful friends, and I've also experienced, like times when they are hit on a lot more than me when I'm out with them.
Dude,
and I think it's like she's probably experiencing that kind of thing of being like, no one ever hits on me. But it's because when you're out with really beautiful people, they tend, it just happens. But that doesn't mean that you're any less beautiful.
Yes, hyping you up is one thing, but people flirting with you doesn't mean you're not.
No.
Back to my point, it's because maybe you have a ring on, and people are respectful of that, one. Also, two, it could be how you want to be approached. You can be perceived as like, oh, she doesn't want to be approached. That's okay. And that could make sense because you're a married woman, you're out with your friends, and you don't want to talk to people. You don't want to go out there and flirt. So
I mean, also presumably you're not like talking to people in a flirting manner.
True.
Because a lot of the people that like have flirted with me, I've been flirting with. It's like a two-way street.
Yeah.
Men get scared to talk to women nowadays.
Yeah.
Also, you have one really hot friend.
What?
So you have one really hot friend.
I think all my friends are hot.
But you have one that's super hot.
What?
Like, really hot.
Are you just talking about your girlfriend?
I am.
Yeah.
No, won't post a pic of her.
Ooh.
And I won't ask her to post a pic either. It's not because I secretly don't think she's attractive or whatever, but because I think it'd be extremely counterproductive simply because I know there are way too many people on Reddit that take joy in tearing down attractive women for one reason or another. So I don't want to expose my wife to that, especially since I've seen the comments and messages some people have sent her sister calling her fat and ugly and all sorts of rude and untrue things. Her sister ignores the remarks and just blocks those people. But I know my wife would take every insult personally, which she doesn't need to. So yeah, thanks again. I'll be looking into spas and photographers in my area, and I'll talk to my sister and her sister to see if they will take her out for a girls' self-care day. Thank you all so much.
I also think like a boudoir photo shoot.
Oh,
It sounds
yeah.
like silly, but like
Ooh.
making a woman feel like sexy, it probably would boost her confidence.
Yep. I like your pure of heart, OP.
Yeah.
glad
you
that-
love your wife. You think she's hot.
You double-checked and cross-referenced your idea before you
Yeah, before you
executed
did it. Don't do that.
I'm glad the update was. So I hired this guy named Bob from the bar.
Yeah,
to
he's
my
gonna
wife,
flirt with my wife.
and he vomited.
They've run away together.
He vomited all over her, and
Oh
then
yikes!
proceeded to tell her how much I paid him.
Oh, that would be terrible. But that's the end of that story, and we got another one coming right up.
And I'm gonna retire to go work on super secret stuff. Bye, guys.
My wife cheated on me while she was pregnant.
Ew.
At least she can't get pregnant. Trigger warning, mention of abuse. My wife, female 31, confessed to having a 2-year-long affair. She was very blasé about it, and I, male 34, managed to archive her WhatsApp and had all their texts. I read through everything I could stomach. We didn't have the best relationship, but I thought everyone had the same ups and downs. We went through several IVF treatments and eventually got pregnant. Her affair started when she was 3 months pregnant. From what I gather, it went physical pretty quickly, and she was infatuated with him. She left from doctor checkups we were both at and literally went to see him straight from them while I went back to work. By the way, this comes from Throwaway, TSHAD, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. She worked in the city an hour away. So does he. They met while getting lunch one day. He also stays very close to us from what I could work out. Her job has hours between clients, so to save all the driving, she would just stay in the city and wait for the next one. Not exactly sure what he does, something in software, but whatever it is, he has a ton of downtime. So they spent hours with each other, 4 to 5 days a week, sometimes more than this when they were not working at a spot 5 minutes from our home. She took holidays at work to spend the whole day with him, got dolled up, went out for lunch, and went to the cinema. Took liberties with the advantage of already being pregnant. Seemingly just done things to this guy that I had asked her to do freely without issue. Told him she loved doing them with him. She had things she wanted to try. I had things I wanted her to do. And in the end, neither of them would happen anyway. She tried everything she wanted to try with him. She sent him pictures all the time and videos, which she has never done for me. I felt like I just didn't know her at all. He felt my son picking once she was heavily pregnant. They were still having spicy sleep at the stage, but eventually got too awkward, and she apologized for not being able to on the run up to giving birth, but she could service him another way. He was on the mass text list when my son was born. She texted him all the way up to an hour or two before giving birth. Texted him as and when she could after the birth and was still in hospital. She drove to meet him with our baby in the car weeks after he was born up until he started nursery. The normal service resumed. I hope to God nothing happened with my son in the car. It doesn't look like it did. My wife pursued a lot of this. He doesn't really seem spicy motivated at all, and my wife actually said that was one of the reasons she really liked him. We went into therapy, and after a few sessions, the therapist told me that the way I treated her could be labeled abuse. I admitted I was an a-hole, took advantage of her, and didn't treat her like I should have. It hit me very hard, and I had to take a lot of time off work. My mental health took a nosedive. Not long after that, I couldn't afford to keep up with my half of the therapy and had to stop. She moved out, and with childcare and me not working, I couldn't afford it on my own. She came back wondering why it was her that moved out when she fronted the deposit for the house and paid the majority of the bills. I moved into the spare room. We agreed to keep it like this for ease and keep it cordial. And we have been. It sounds crazy, but it's the best we've been together since I can remember. We're not intimate or anything, but around our son, we keep up the perfect family role play. Until his bedtime, where we go our separate ways and don't talk until the next morning when he gets up. She had a hard time getting over him, and from what I've seen, is still struggling. She literally quit her job and got another out of the city because of the memories it was giving her. Threw out almost her entire wardrobe because she remembered wearing most of it to see him. Yesterday, I came home and she was following a recipe on YouTube on her phone. Our son needed to be changed for bedtime, so she quickly ran to go and do that, and I noticed all these notifications on the top of her phone screen. I swiped it down, and one was an email address she had that I didn't know about. Instead of opening the app, I quickly went onto her browser and searched this email. Sure enough, it came up with the login details of this new account. I counted the characters on the password, and it was the same length of password she uses for everything. So I went onto the PC and logged onto it and found all these emails between the two of them. They had been in contact since pretty much the day she confessed. He was the one spearheading the confessing. In the text, I gathered she told him to face it, but she said it over text as well, that she was in love with him, and she was indeed. He told her she has a family, didn't seem to care about that for 2 years, and at least should give it her all to make things work at home, to which she replied saying, the thought of me touching her made her feel sick. He said he was going to tell his wife, and she should tell me as well. She asked about their future together and if there even was one, and he said if his wife has it in her to reconcile, he needs to focus on that. And that's all there was to it. My wife pleaded with him to at least stay friends, which he agreed to try to do. So now we're getting what happened.
Great.
Okay, you got to put that first. It seems it was a bit rocky to begin with, but they seem to be in a good place now. And since he convinced my wife to tell me, all emails seem to be very platonic. If anything, my wife is the one who has teetered on the line a few times. I think just testing the water, but I got shut down pretty instantly. This seems so stupid to type out and read back, but this one hurt. Father's Day was Sunday. I had plans with my son and my dad to go out. She organized a gift and a card for my son to me. Adam walked to me holding it and attempt to say Happy Father's Day. She was pretty silent the entire time. Didn't say anything to me, actually, because you guys aren't together. I saw an email at 6:50 a.m. on Sunday sent to him saying Happy Father's Day. Hope you have a great day. And she can't wait to hear about what he got up to. Couldn't say a thing to me, yet the first thing she's done when she got up before getting our son ready was send this email to him. Reading that hurt so much. It made me realize, and again, I know this is stupid to just realize this, but I've totally lost her. She's not interested in the slightest to work things out. I knew it was all a show, and after bedtime, we just go our separate ways, but for some reason, I always thought eventually this might work out. She'll see how I've changed, and we'll get back together to where we should be.
Why are we living in this delusion where also we skipped the entire part that you were a terrible person?
Yeah!
Why is she just like, she's not
Yeah.
gonna forget that?
Like, obviously, she's totally in the wrong for cheating, but you also seemingly have glossed over. I can feel myself slipping back down the hole. I don't see a point in even being here. I can't afford or even chance asking for more time off work. I can't afford therapy. I can't afford to go it alone. I wake up and feel like I just can't face the day. I have a kid who reminds me of this crap show every time I look at him. How could she do that with my child growing inside of her? She said herself she had the wrong man's baby. She told him that. The past year has been so hard, and this has just destroyed me. Part of me wants to tell her I know she's still talking to him, but at the same time, what's the point? She's not going to stop. She doesn't want anything to do with me outside the fact that we have a son together. Me telling her I know isn't going to change a thing. I mean, again, it doesn't seem like you guys are together.
they're not. There's
It
no
doesn't
way.
seem like you
And
guys have
he
been-
seems like he's the only one in this delusion that they are.
Yeah. Another part of me wants to put myself out there again, get back at her, but again, what's the point? I'm nothing special to look at. She's gorgeous, goes to the gym, in shape, good job. She can go out and get whoever she wants. Nothing I do is going to hurt her. I'm really at the bottom of the barrel and don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm better talking to her or do I just leave her to do what she wants. Gonna anyway. She's more than able to afford to go it alone. I don't have that luxury, and I'm terrified I'll be homeless. I'm lucky to have what I just have now, honestly. I need to try and accept the fact that as a couple, we're over, and I'm really struggling with that. It's a scary thought that someday when our son's old enough, that will be us, and I'll be alone. But deep inside, I'm just slowly giving up on life. How do I dig myself out of this? And you should dig into more episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. You need to leave her.
Yeah, I don't think there's any saving anything.
I don't think you said yourself, mistreating your wife.
Right.
She then, not justifiably, but she then cheats on you because of seemingly this treatment.
That, yeah.
Again, not justifiable. She should have left. And then she confesses, says basically that she doesn't want to be with you anymore, but that you're going to live together for the kid. And then you're still in this things are going to be fixed.
Yeah, and the fact that I don't get where he thinks it's going to come from. That she's going to magically be like, "Oh yes, I've changed my mind. We're all good again." No, it's not going to go back.
What you need to do, break up, fully divorce, go get a better job. Obviously, it's not that easy. I mean, you're going to be single, but work on yourself
Gotta
to
get
the
over
extent
the
that you can. I understand that you can't afford therapy right now, but I think priority right now is getting a better job so that you can afford to pay for your kid. Edit. Many comments mention alimony. I'm in Scotland, so if anyone has a good knowledge of how this can work in my favor here, please get in touch. My wife makes many more times what I do, and her affair partner definitely has a lot of money. Second edit. She wasn't 3 months into the IVF process when this happened. They met 3 months after the transfer happened.
Oh.
We were not 3 months into the whole process.
Okay, so it's definitely his kid.
Yeah. The abuse comments. I wasn't hitting her. I lost my temper all the time and went straight to shouting about everything. Scared. I also caused arguments constantly. Believe me, I know what a craphead I was. There's no need for anyone to take the time out of their day to send me private messages reinforcing the fact. I wish none of this was real. It's crushing me.
Not crushing you enough to leave yet for some reason.
Dude, you know why your marriage failed. I was it sucks.
Two big reasons.
You know why it failed. You were abusive and she cheated on you. It's over.
I blew up at my wife's mistakes. Now she's not talking to me. My wife, 30 female, and I, 35 male, bought our house 5 years ago, and it needs work, but time and money are always a constraint. Right now, my wife is not working while she goes back to school, and I'm working second shift as the sole earner. By the way, this comes from user CommunicationFit257. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And OP says, since my wife is home more than me, she has been handling most of the work that's been done around the house, including dealing with contractors. She comes from a family of DIYers who tend to shoot from the hip with projects, while I prefer to have a plan in place before we do any work. And the most recent projects that she's spearheaded have been, in my opinion, subpar. Some examples. Our privacy fence gate doesn't close right, and she hasn't gotten the contractor to come to fix it for months. The internet line wasn't buried deeply enough by the contractors, and I think she should have sent them away when they didn't have the right equipment. She decided, without my input, to use a cleanser on our house before restaining it, and the cleanser left streaks in the wood that cannot be covered by the stain. We have a wooden sculpture in our yard that she did not clean, and it is dark and dirty and looks like crap. She doesn't see anything wrong with it. It's just a difference in opinion.
Yeah.
Most recently, we had gutter work done, and I wanted a gutter put on the back of our new shed. She forgot to tell the contractor where I wanted the downspout, and he put it on the opposite corner, so now the water is just going to collect behind the shed, which is exactly what I wanted to avoid. She called me at work to give me this news, and I spent the rest of the day frustrated. When I got home, I asked what we were going to do about this, and she said something about fixing it ourselves. I told her that it would never be right if we fixed it ourselves, defeatist attitude, and that I already paid for the work to be done right the first time, and we're just pissing away money and time with needing to redo all these projects that she's been half bootying. I asked if she even cared about the quality of work that's being done on the house, and said that maybe she shouldn't be involved with any more projects on the house unless communication improves. She just sat in silence and slept on the couch without speaking to me. This morning, I asked if she was going to talk to me, and she said, quote, I don't know. I was exasperated and asked if she could just tell me what is wrong, and she replied, quote, I'm scared of you.
What?
Well, did you scream and yell at her?
Yeah.
Are you leaving that part out? Because if you screamed and yelled, it could be pretty scary.
For sure.
She told me she wished I had approached the issue by looking for a solution, and I told her that she just doesn't want to be accountable for her actions. She said she just wants us, quote, to be partners. I could be the a-hole for how I went about telling her about my feelings, but I feel like there's no way for me to give her negative feedback without her freaking out. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that she needs to be accountable for her actions? And the official verdict was a-hole. And we have some comments. But, yeah, I think, buddy, you can't yell at your wife.
Nope.
First of all.
Yep.
Don't be yelling at your wife.
Yep.
Don't even be yelling about stuff that your wife has done in the presence of your wife. Even if you're yelling over here and she's over there, don't be yelling about stuff your wife has done.
Yep.
If she's been messing up every project, why is she still spearheading it? I know you're at work. Did you know contractors have email addresses? You can say, hey, I want the gutter done like this on this part of the shed.
Yeah.
Now it's in writing.
Yeah, exactly. I think, you could definitely voice your frustration and just be like, I really, hoped that you would see this ahead of time. I really, or if they did talk about that problem, wanting to avoid that, then, I really hoped that, what we said made sense and that you, watched out for that a little bit more. But it's already done. So we're gonna fix the solution now. You can't just be like, oh yeah, well now we can't fix it because it's not gonna be done right, and now we're gonna just be pissing away money, and I'm just mad about it.
It's like you can fix it, bro. You can get on YouTube and
Yeah.
Google gutter exactly what you need to find out, and then immediately figure out how to do it.
Sucks that it happened, but yes, you can talk about the problem normally, and hopefully not yell. But I wonder if we'll get more context.
Which I'm sure we're gonna get some more info here. Let's dig into these comments. From David A. Nida. Info. Did you calmly tell her maybe she shouldn't be involved in any more projects, as you've written, or were you more forceful? I've seen women feign fear to keep men from holding them to task, but it feels like something is missing here. OP says, I told her that we had 3 options: stopping all projects, her not being involved in any projects, or we get better at communicating. Obviously, the last option is my preference. I notice how you did not answer the question that was asked.
You really didn't at all.
Another user, Willow X Ash, says, based on your own words, you responded in an accusatory tone. I told her that she just doesn't want to be accountable for her actions. Right after she admitted she was scared of you. I highly doubt this is her feigning fear, as a different user speculated. After being barraged the night before, your wife gave constructive criticism on how she would prefer to discuss sensitive topics in the future in a more partner-focused, kind, and solution-based way. You breached this entire subject with frustration and accused her of carelessness and pissing away money, seemingly without bringing up a communication issue or less drastic solutions at all. Instead, you jumped straight to suggesting that she should be removed from all projects. With this kind of angry and accusatory reaction, it's not at all crazy to think she would be silent and afraid of you. Seems like it was just a way for you to blow off steam and shame her. Her request for you to communicate in a kind and constructive way is not ridiculous in the slightest, just as much as it's not ridiculous to want things in your house to be done well or for her to communicate better. But words do matter, and how you wield them has consequences. Just remember what your true priority is here. Is it the project, or is it having a loving partnership with your wife? After you decide on these priorities, then you can work together on how to deal with the house projects, or not work together at all. User third try is the charm says, she replied, I'm scared of you, and that should scare you. There is no reason your reaction should be so outsized that it's making your adult partner afraid. All of these projects are things that are not emergencies. They are things that if they go wrong, it sucks, but it's fixable. Maybe not on the time frame you wanted, but it's still fixable. The way your wife is feeling may damage your relationship in a way that is not fixable. You are the a-hole. Change the Focus says, you're the a-hole. OP, you want to call all the shots while having her do all the work. In your mind, it's her job to silently and smoothly assure that everything ends up as you wanted it. It's as if you were the boss and she were your assistant, whose job it is to carry out your wishes. If she fails at getting your way for you, you feel entitled to accuse her of bootying and pissing away money and all kinds of other things, blaming and shaming out frustration that she didn't fulfill your wishes correctly. She isn't the one with the communication problem. Boom! I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Because it's true, buddy. If like she's telling the contractor stuff, you're not properly explaining to her what you
Right.
want to be done
Right.
in a clear enough way. Then you got to take the responsibility upon yourself if you're going to be the leader in the situation.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
she would like to have a civil discussion and approach problems as partners, while you would rather accuse that she just doesn't want to be accountable for her actions. That being the case, unless communication improves, is entirely on you. I absolutely do believe that she is scared of you. You drip with superiority. You think you're better than your wife and entitled to tell her what to do and to judge how well she carries the instructions out, and that is a huge red flag. I hope you two don't have kids. Another comment, Diligent Employee 5001 says, you're the a-hole. If you have a specific way you want something done, then you handle the contractors. Phones work great for this. Exactly. Phone call, text message, email. It sounds like your wife is nervous about doing anything or not doing anything because you managed to criticize her regardless. I bet you managed to make her feel stupid just for asking. Honestly, you sound like a knucklehead. Deleted user says, you're the a-hole. I live with a guy like you who blew up for nothing, with the results of being stepping on eggs around him. Nothing you say here is end of the world and needs to fix right now. Plus, is it her fault the contractor you picked did a subpar job? She's not an expert on everything, and by the way, neither are you. Choose better contractors if they're so bad. Let me guess, the price was right. There's an update from 4 months and 3 weeks later.
Oh boy. 4 months. I want to know what's going to happen.
I think she leaves.
Yeah,
I think
hopefully.
she leaves.
I have a feeling he did not take those comments well.
So, a lot of people recognize that the way I spoke with my wife was full of frustration and anger, which was unproductive, but even more than that, it was scary to my wife. Willow X Ash had an excellent comment pointing out that I was just blowing off steam and that my priority should be my partnership. He covered a lot of topics in the weeks following that incident. We had a couples therapy session to talk about strategies and communication. I saw one of my coworkers react in anger and frustration instead of taking the time to become calm, and realized from the outside looking in just how unproductive his behavior was. And then my wife showed me a section of one of our self-help books. It's called The 5 Personality Patterns, and my therapist had recommended it to me a while back. We had been reading it together, my wife and I, but then we got busy and we stopped. She picked it back up after our fight and read about the leaving pattern. She underlined a bunch of sections and read them to me, and I finally understood. I grew up in a house where my parents screamed and yelled at each other or picked fights in order to storm out of the house, and that's how I used to interpret my wife's silence, as a way to quote-unquote win the fight. In reality, when she became silent, she was terrified. She wasn't stonewalling me or trying to win the fight by manipulating me or trying to avoid taking responsibility. She was scared in that moment, and she wasn't even in her body. She couldn't even speak. She was totally disassociated. She told me that even though she knows that how I was acting wasn't objectively scary, that her threshold for shutting down is really low. By the way, I'll tell you what's not really low. The episode count of the full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts. I don't care where you listen. I just care that you search up OK Storytime and you take a little gander at the 71 days worth of stories we have there to listen to.
Oh, yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
We have a little bit more story.
Mm-hmm.
I guess therapy is good.
Yeah.
Um,
Brought a lot of things to light about her reaction. That's good.
I'm not liking how this has been approached as like well, I'm just starting to realize how unproductive this is. I think it needs to be more like oh no. I've been emotionally absent in my marriage.
Yeah.
And I've been not recognizing my negative behaviors.
Yeah. And
Instead
how
of just
hurting
being like,
her.
I could be so much more productive about this.
Right.
It's like,
I mean, I guess that's a part of it, but that's not the main issue here.
it feels like you're making your wife's feelings like just like a thing that's like outside of y'all or outside of you
Yeah.
or your responsibility, and being like, yeah, that's just, her feelings are like that, and then her feelings of shutting down are unproductive or whatever. It's like,
oh, I realize that you don't respond well to this kind of behavior. You respond better to positive feedback.
yeah.
That's what I'm learning here. It's like, yeah, I just.
But I'm glad. I think it's going down the right path. Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this story.
Yep.
Realizing how much I scared my wife broke my heart. There we go.
4 months later, it took you that. Whatever.
The descriptions of dissociation in the book were terrifying to me. My wife is the sweetest person, and I love her so much, and I never want her to experience what she experienced that day ever again. It changed my perspective completely. There we go.
Finally.
That's what I was looking for.
That's honestly happened in so many of the stories that we've been reading of like, I feel like you need to stop talking about this and start talking about this. And then the next paragraph is them talking about what we want them to.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to us, readers or writers.
Thank you. Ever since my realization, our relationship is better than ever. We laugh and tease each other playfully. We've worked on projects together. We've talked about chores and money. We've even had a couple of fights and resolved them quickly and lovingly. Our communication is better because we trust each other. My wife told me that she has never felt safer or more loved now. I won't say I'm glad the fight happened, but what I realized because of it has been a turning point in our marriage for the better. And that is the end of that story.
All right.
My wife agreed to open our marriage, but she couldn't handle me with somebody else.
Ooh, is she with other people though?
Last summer, while on vacation, my wife, Dee Dee, 27 female, and I, 29 male, were approached by another couple while on a cruise. We had dinner and drinks with them for a couple of days and had interesting conversations about their open relationship. They floated several options to us. A threesome, a soft or hard swap. But in the end, we both weren't comfortable with the idea. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway Too New to Know, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice, gifully, but we don't know all the answers. We're not the all-seeing, all-knowing eye. We just know what we would do in any given situation, so if you would do something different, let us know what it would be in the comments. OP says, we researched and talked until we finally felt ready to start exploring. First, it was fun going through the apps and looking at different profiles. We both saw the responses we were getting and laughed at some and cringed at others. This went on for several weeks until she finally had a short list and sent out 4 responses. All 4 answered quickly, and she began texting and talking before setting up her first date. We both had butterflies when she left. Per our protocols, she sent me his picture and made sure his ID matched the name he had given her. I did a quick search and sent her a thumbs up. She sent a check-in through our tracking app that she was at his house with an emoji that meant she felt safe. A few hours later, I got a notice she was mobile and a text she was on her way home. She came home bouncing and giggling through the front door. I bet she was doing that there as well. She had brought me a pastry home, and while I ate that, she showered. Then I got to experience reclamation spicy sleep with her, and she brought with it some awesome energy and passion. We talked the next morning, both excited about the previous night. We had made plans for a date night for the two of us the following night and had a wonderful time. The following week, she met a guy, number 2, for a short coffee date after work. They hit it off and made plans for a date the following week. Our arrangement in the beginning was a 1 date per week limit at her request. She had her second date with guy number 1 that same week, but I said the coffee date couldn't count as a date since it was basically just a meet and greet. The second date with guy number 1 went well, and I got another dose of emotional energy afterwards. Okay. After her second date, I got an invite from someone I had been talking with, and we set a date to have drinks and see where things led. I was excited, but Dee Dee was struggling a little as I got ready to leave. We hugged it out, and I offered to stay if she wanted me to, but she said she needed to push through it and would be all right. I met Kathy, and per protocol, sent Dee Dee a picture and began talking with her. We were getting along great, and she suggested going somewhere a little more quiet. I was waiting for a response from Dee Dee and sent a question mark, which was followed by a thumbs up. Kathy and I stopped at a bakery and then went to her house where I checked in again. We cuddled for a while and made out on her couch. Kathy said she didn't want to have spicy sleep on the first date, which I respected. However, later she initiated some mouth stuff, which became mutual and ended in the shower together. As I got dressed to leave, Kathy said we had unfinished business and wanted to know when we could see each other again. I told her about my weekly limit and that sometime next week would be lovely. I came home to find Dee Dee in tears, and it looked like she had been crying for quite some time. She thought she could handle it, but said she just went downhill the whole night. I did everything I could to comfort and reassure her, and she finally settled down and just cuddled until we went to sleep. The next day, she was withdrawn and moped around the house. I finally got her to open up and talk about it. She felt like she needed more time to be okay with sharing me, and asked if we could slow down. I said I would, and asked if she wanted to talk to someone, or if both of us should see a counselor together. The next day, I was doing some chores outside, and when I came in, I heard Dee Dee talking on the phone, making plans for next Thursday. When she got off the phone, I asked her who she was talking to, and she acted startled and started talking about taking the cars down to get them washed. I asked her what was going on next Friday, and she said she had a date with guy number 2. I said I thought we were going to slow down and work on some things first. And her answer was they had already planned their date last week when they had coffee, and she felt bad about canceling on him. I asked her if I was the only one not allowed to date because of her feelings while she got to keep dating other people. After some back and forth, she said it wasn't fair to guy number 2 because he had already made plans. So I picked up my phone and started texting. When I was done, Dee Dee asked me what I was doing. I said I was confirming a date with Kathy for next Friday. Wednesday morning, before we left for work, Dee Dee came to me asking to please cancel my date with Kathy until she could get in and talk with her therapist. I asked for her phone and started composing a text message to guy number 2. I'm sorry, but I have closed my open marriage with my husband until I can work through some of my issues. I hope you understand how sorry I am and forgive me for the short notice, but my marriage is the most important thing to me right now. I handed the phone back to her to read and said, if you hit send, I'll cancel my date, and then you can copy it and send it to guy number 1 as well. She looked like I had just run over her dog with the car. She said I was being mean and didn't care about her feelings.
You were being mean. I think that she's also being completely unfair, but I think immediately opening your phone and planning a date with someone after she expressed that was mean.
You know what's really mean? Letting strangers on a cruise dictate what you do in your marriage.
Yeah.
That's mean.
Yeah. We should just be closing this down for good for now.
I asked her if that message wasn't the same thing she wanted me to send to Kathy. I said it was her choice, but to make it quick. I told her I had agreed to slow things down, but I expected that it would be fair and she would do the same. Maybe we just need to close and start over, or maybe just stay closed if this is how she's going to handle issues when they come up. I don't think it's fair for her to close my side when I did nothing wrong. Any advice would be appreciated. And there's an update. It says closed.
Yeah, exactly. If it's either you guys are both going to have it open or you're both going to have it closed, and there shouldn't be like this one or the other kind of thing.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I mean, hey.
Witchy waifu says, you got to move your mouse. Married woman here. She's in the wrong. She wants it open for her and closed for her hubby. Yeah, I think they're both in the wrong and they just need to close it, which it seems like they did.
Buddy, it sounded like you really enjoyed that reclamation crackdown. Oh, what's the problem now? You gotta get some reclamation from Kathy?
Well, I can totally understand him being like, it's not fair that she's going to keep going on dates and that I'm not allowed to anymore. But also at the same time, like, don't be vindictive about it and don't immediately be like, oh, you have a date that you, like, already had pre-scheduled? Well, I'm going to schedule one right now because I know it will upset you. Like, you're just both being petty and disgusting.
Well, to be fair, I think that's, like, the easiest, quickest way to be like, hey, do you see how ridiculous you're being right now? Being like, she's like, well,
the funny
no,
thing is,
because
I didn't even
it's
know
crazy
which one you were calling ridiculous because that's how ridiculous.
Well, it's her being like, well, I can't cancel the date
Right.
because we
she
already
could
planned
totally
it.
cancel the date.
And then
he
it's
also
like,
doesn't have to be like.
Well, because I think him and Kathy
just
already had
close
something,
it.
right? Like,
No, he planned that because she said she already had something planned.
oh well, whatever. I don't know.
You guys clearly both don't want this. Just close it.
Update. So Dee Dee sent the message I wrote with an addition. Due to a crisis I had after my husband's first date. Guy number 1 was gracious and understood, and guy number 2 was very rude and blocked her afterwards. She has an appointment with her therapist on Monday morning, but our couples therapist can't see us for 10 days. Her therapist did talk with her on the phone for 20 minutes today. Dee Dee has been listening to podcasts or had her nose in a book since last weekend. We both kind of agree that instead of keeping busy and distracted, she just sat and let it overwhelm her. Monday night after her session, she wants to sit down and talk with me about reopening, starting with a date with Kathy and me that Friday if she feels ready. We both agreed to stay in contact with guy number 1 and Kathy. Guy number 2 and everyone else will be no contact for now. So we made a deal. I get to go on 2 dates, and if she could learn to deal with it, then she could start dating again. When she came home from her first 2 dates, I was happy and supportive, and we ended up having some awesome spicy sleep when she got home. After my first date, which didn't end with spicy sleep, I came home to a crying mess. Rather than getting to ride that feeling, I got pulled down into a pit of despair. I told my wife that coming home to that wasn't worth the effort, and we might as well stay close. She went to her therapist, and she had a plan to go out with a girlfriend and keep herself busy instead of sitting at home and circling the drain, thinking about my date. I went on the next date and came home before she did. When she got home, I got a hug, but that was about it. At least she wasn't crying, and it was some improvement. Friday morning, she woke up whining about my third date and wanting to know if I would postpone it. I said it would be unfair to cancel my date with Kathy on such short notice, but if she felt that way, we could just chalk this up to a failed experiment and go back to monogamy. We ate lunch together later, and she said she felt better about it and wanted me to go ahead with my date. I had a great time and came home just bouncing. But when I came home, I saw 2 wine bottles almost empty in the kitchen counter, and Dee Dee curled up on the couch intoxicated. I didn't get a warm welcome home. She was short, sarcastic, and mean. I said, that's it, this isn't going to work out, and she could consider our marriage closed again. Then I went to bed. See, the fact that you're using that as like this is a punishment, fine, this is going to work, it's closed, punishment.
I think that's what's annoying me. Like, I get that she's being really, like, all over the place, and she should, like, figure out exactly what she wants before they try this again. They both need to figure out what they want before they try it again. But it's the fact that when, like, and she's not handling it well, guys, I know. But then he, like, immediately comes back with, like, okay, fine. Like,
nah, dude, he's
like,
doing this.
Like, that's what it's like.
He's like, ears
just
closed.
Close it already. Like, you guys can't sit down and have a normal conversation about this without one of you getting pissy and running away.
It's just if you're someone's partner, and it's like you dude, have the intuition to know she's not okay with it. She's saying she's okay with it because she probably thinks you want her to be okay with it really bad, because you've made it clear you kind of do. Because it's like,
right, and
it's just
maybe
this
she's
thing.
cheating, and that's a whole nother problem then. But we don't know that for sure yet, guys.
I don't know, man.
Casey Walker says,
Dude,
the word you guys are looking
mad.
for is stupid. This whole thing is stupid. Yes, it is.
Saturday morning, I woke up disappointed and slightly angry about the whole situation. I got a hungover Dee Dee out of bed and said we needed to have a serious talk. I waited until she was on her second cup of coffee before I got started. Our deal was I would go on a couple of dates, and if she was fine, she could start dating again. If she wasn't fine, we would close for 6 months to give her time to exercise her demons, and then I would start dating. If things went well, she could then start dating again herself. I told her I was through. I didn't want to come home after a date and have to deal with all this drama again. I said that's not what she had to deal with when she came home, and it just wasn't fair.
Well, buddy, I feel like you got to enjoy her coming home too. I feel like you both enjoyed that one.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you did enjoy that and you hadn't gone on any dates, then why do you need to do it again?
Just
Just
close it.
She said she was sorry for what she said last night. She knew she acted awful towards me and kept saying how sorry she was. I reminded her what we agreed upon and that she should send a last message to anyone she was still talking to before she blocked them and deleted all her dating profiles. She wanted to stay in contact with a couple of them since they had become friends, but I said they would be a distraction and temptation that wouldn't be healthy. I told her we could have one more couple session for closure, and she could keep seeing her individual therapist or get a new one if she thought that would help. Maybe in the fall we could revisit this again. She begged for another chance, but I said I couldn't take the emotional roller coaster anymore. She just needed more time to sort through and deal with her feelings before we opened up again. She said I was lucky to find someone like Kathy whom I connected with so fast, and she was afraid it might take a long time for her to find somebody like that when we tried again. I have tried the last few weeks to be supportive and showered Dee Dee with extra love and attention to help her get through this. For now, we are closed. I feel some resentment, and I'm sure Dee Dee may as well, and we will address that. Update 2. My wife coming to terms with my dating other people.
Great. Cool. So happy for you guys.
Who are these master, who talked to you on this cruise? It's just like the most, convincing, smooth-talking swingers of all. Why do they feel the need that it has to be open?
This story is just...
Because it's like once you open it and close it, it's like we failed. No, we're not on top anymore. We're not transcendent. We're just like everyone else. So we lost the game. I don't get it.
Neither of you are okay with this. Just keep it closed, please. Please.
My goodness. My wife, Dee Dee, met my other partner, Kathy, for lunch without me present. Kathy was more experienced in ethical non-monogamy and was able to relate to Dee Dee and also dispel some preconceived notions she had. Dee Dee came back from lunch with a much better mindset, and she has been dealing with our dates much better. The three of us went out to dinner together last week, and it was really special. Dee Dee has also been working with her therapist to understand and deal with her feelings without spiraling whenever I go on a date. That and our new puppy have done wonders for her mood swings. On the last few dates, she's been more engaging when I return, and her mood definitely brighter. We're starting to reconnect more emotionally and physically, which has done wonders to improve my experience since I was feeling guilt and stress returning home to the point of wanting to just throw in the towel. By the way, you never have to throw in the towel on listening to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to a whole plethora of episodes. If the situation is that when when your wife went on these dates and you liked it, when she came back home and you reclaimed her, and then when you went on dates and you came back home, she was upset, and you go, okay, well, I don't like that this makes you upset. I don't think this is going to really work. Let's go back. And she goes, no, I absolutely have to get cracked by other people. And you go, well, I am not okay with that. Guess what? Your marriage just broke.
Or you guys just close it. Close it.
Well, no, if she's
Move on.
demanding
She's not
like,
okay.
oh, I'm not,
But
no,
then
I
they-
need to
but
keep
then
doing
in
this.
Somewhere in
Then
there
it's
they
broken
totally
now.
swapped.
You broke
too.
it.
I don't even know.
You broke
At
the
some
thing.
point, you guys switched
Congrats.
sides of everything. I'm over it.
You've broken your marriage.
Just finish it.
We both agreed that she should start dating again since she has come so far. Her previous contacts have moved on since she shut her side down, so she has had to start from scratch. She's talking to a few guys, but has yet to meet one in person. Kathy and I are only seeing each other once a week for now. That may change when Dee Dee starts dating again. I brought up the topic of overnights with Kathy, but she thinks it's too soon to push Dee Dee's comfort level. I agreed, but it's something that we are both looking forward to. This whole experience has brought us closer together. And we talk about relationship issues way more than we did before. I'm looking forward to both of us being able to date and explore this new chapter together. I can't wait for you to get to the divorce chapter, because that comes right after this one, buddy.
Oh.
That's the end of that story.
My wife was caught holding hands with another man. Now I'm being gaslit about it.
Yep, no, that's instant divorce.
My wife, 36 female, and I, 40 male, have been together 5 years and got married last year. We definitely have our ups and downs, but we're generally happy. On Friday, she went out with people from her work for Christmas drinks and arrived home around midnight. Absolutely hammered. She just said she'd had a good time and went straight to bed. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Holding Hands, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
Oh, I thought you were Superman. And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, yesterday I got a message on Instagram from an anonymous account claiming to be one of her colleagues, saying she'd been flirting all night with one of the guys from the office, 44 male, and they'd left together at about 9 to walk to the train station. But she got back at 12.
Well, that means you were holding hands for 3 hours.
The colleague had a couple more drinks, then went to the station herself and says she saw my wife walking hand in hand with the guy through the station at about 10:45. Last night, I showed her the message and asked for an explanation. She claimed she was so wasted she doesn't remember anything after 8 p.m. Awfully convenient. I asked if she went somewhere with the guy after they left the group, and she checked the location history on her phone, which confirmed they had gone to a bar near the station for about an hour. She gave me her phone and insisted I check it. There were no suspicious messages or anything. As far as I could tell, she doesn't have the guy's number, and they're not following each other on Instagram or friends on Facebook. I asked if she was flirting with him, and she admitted she was talking mostly to him all night, but that's just because he's the only person in her office she has anything in common with, and they're just friends. She's mentioned this guy to me before and said how much they have in common.
All of this has so far maintained plausible deniability.
I agree. Because she came home pretty hammered. She could have no memory. I asked if they were holding hands, and she said she doesn't remember but doesn't think so. She claims to know who sent me the message and says it's a woman in the office who hates her, although she doesn't know why. Today she's been in a terrible mood and we've not really spoken. So that's where we are. I'm not sure what to do. And there's an update 9 days later. Any thoughts? I think that there's plausible deniability, but now I'd be like a little bit more hesitant about, my wife and her relationship with this guy. Just be a little more suspicious.
Yeah, I don't know if it's time to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
Oh, talk to the guy.
Oh.
Maybe talk to the guy.
I don't know.
And just be like, hey, man, it's just man to man. I
Man to
need to
man.
know, were you holding my wife's hand
Did you
for
hold
3
her hand?
hours last night?
How long were you holding her hand? Let me know. Sam came home from work on Monday and casually said she's spoken with the guy, Tom, and he'd confirmed they hadn't held hands. They'd just been walking arm in arm because she was wasted and wearing heels. I asked why her colleague Helen would make an Instagram account, track me down, and message me saying they had held hands if it wasn't true. She said Helen is basically in love with Tom and made a pass at him just after his divorce, but he rejected her. I asked why Helen would feel threatened by her. She said because her and Tom are friends and Helen's a crazy jealous witch. I asked why she went for a drink, just her and Tom. She said that according to Tom, they walked past this bar with an amazing live band playing, so they stopped in for a drink. Her only regret was doing too many shots too early and getting crap-faced. The next day, she went shopping after work and came home with a new dress. I asked what the occasion was, and she said her work Christmas party. Last week was just drinks with people from her office. The company Christmas party is on Friday. I hardly slept that night. The next day, I decided to reply to the Instagram message to get some more info. I asked if she thought anything was going on with them. Helen quickly replied with a long message saying they flirt at work and everyone's noticed. Apparently, Sam was going to be let go, but Tom put in a good word, so she kept her job. Tom protects her in the office and will constantly defend her. She also said Sam witches about me to the whole office, and it's clear we don't have a happy marriage. I asked if she was going to the Christmas party, and she said she was. She said she'd update me if anything happened. I think you have to say, get me the footage. I need footage.
So I think you take all of that and what you take away from it should be that your wife is unhappy with your marriage and isn't talking to you about it.
Well, but is that true? Or is this another Helen lie?
What I would take away from that is just checking in with
Check in with
my
wife.
spouse,
See
and then
is
that
any
then
truth.
you can figure out if it's a lie just on that alone.
Yeah.
It's the good old one tells truths and one only tells lies.
One of us always lies. Helen or Sam? Sam finished work early on Friday, so she had time to get ready. She looked amazing, and I really didn't want her to go, but I felt like I couldn't say anything. They all left just before 11 and were at the new bar by 10 past. Sam and Tom turned up just before midnight. Sam arrived home about 2 a.m., not quite as wasted as last time, and went straight to sleep. When Sam woke up, I just asked her straight out if she cheated on me with Tom last night. She angrily denied it. I told her I knew she'd been to Tom's house. She accused me of spying on her, called me controlling, said she was going to stay with her sister. I demanded an explanation, and she said she went to his house so they could smoke a joint before heading to the bar. I thought you didn't remember any of that. Pretty freaking suspicious. She wouldn't reply to my messages or answer my calls on all day Sunday. I called her sister, who said she hadn't seen her, but she texted me later that she'd spoken to Sam and she was okay. Sam came home yesterday morning. I asked where she'd been, and she just said she couldn't do this anymore and wants a divorce. She went to start packing some clothes while I tried to get her to talk to me. I asked if she was leaving me for Tom. She once again denied anything inappropriate had happened between them, but said my jealousy was the final straw. It's clear I don't trust her. I'm controlling. I take her for granted. She's deeply unhappy. Has been for a while.
Why haven't we talked about that?
Yeah, why
then?
didn't you mention any of this until you freaking cheated on OP?
Yeah, it just sounds like that's
Even
the
if
case.
it's not physical, it's definitely emotional.
Yeah. So she's gone. It looks like I'll be spending my first Christmas alone. I have no idea if she was telling the truth or if it was an affair, and there is a second update. I don't think she would react that harshly
Yeah, it seems like she's
if she weren't.
kept all of her problems and resentments in regards to y'all's marriage locked inside.
Except
And-
at work, where she tells everyone.
Yeah. And now she's found a perfect opportunity to say, hey, look at you being all jealous.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. You're crazy.
And poor Helen, trying to tell the truth, be a good citizen.
I was a Helen believer,
Yeah.
okay, from day one.
Day 1. Update 2, 20 days after last update. Once she was gone, Sam blocked me on all her social media and refused to return my messages or answer my calls. I ended up traveling to the other side of the country to spend Christmas with my parents. On Christmas Eve, Sam came home and took more of her stuff. I watched her on our security cameras. I tried phoning her, but she ignored my calls. Christmas wasn't great, and my parents were both shocked and in denial about what had happened. They had no idea we were having issues and insisted Sam would come to her senses and come home. I returned home on the 27th. I'd been getting sporadic updates from Sam's sister, just letting me know she's all right, but without any details. Before all this happened, we'd made plans to spend New Year's Eve at Sam's favorite bar in the city. I went on my own, but she didn't show up. On Tuesday night, I received an Instagram message from Helen saying Sam and Tom had arrived at work together in Tom's car. On Wednesday night, she sent another message saying Sam was poisoning the office against her and that Tom was pushing upper management to transfer her to another office or get rid of her. No. Sam's
With her
poisoning the office
behavior.
against Helen.
I revoke my claps.
She begged me to do something. What is OP supposed to do? OP doesn't work there. I texted Sam and said we needed to talk, but she didn't reply. So the next day I called her work switchboard, gave a fake name, and got put through. I could tell she wasn't happy to hear my voice, but she agreed to meet up after work at a local pub and talk. I got there early, and she arrived 25 minutes late. She apologized for ignoring my calls and said she still cares about me and wants to end things on good terms. I said, just tell me the truth. She promised she wasn't having an affair with Tom and they were just friends. She admitted they talked a lot in the office, but insisted it wasn't an emotional affair. She understands why I was suspicious after the Instagram message, but said I should have accepted her denial and trusted her. She has a lot of male friends, but felt like she couldn't hang out with them because I'd get jealous. I pointed out I've never told her not to hang out with anyone, but she said I'd be in a mood whenever she'd hang out with a guy friend. She feels like we only got married to try and fix a relationship that was already broken. Our conversations have devolved into small talk and we've drifted apart. I said I heard she and Tom arrived at work together. Sam said she went to Tom's after I accused her of cheating and knew it was over between us.
Yeah. That. Whoa.
Wait, the next
accused me
line.
of cheating.
They spent the weekend together and agreed they'd make a better couple than we did. Yeah, I'm sure nothing happened between y'all. She needed me to know that nothing happened between them until after she told me she wanted a divorce. And now they were together. Tom was waiting outside for her in the car. All I could do was stand up and walk out. Sam texted me saying she knew I was upset, but not to do anything stupid. I blocked her number. I'm not gonna lie, it was a rough night. The next day, I was just numb. Didn't really do much. Over the weekend, I dug out our marriage certificate so I can start divorce proceedings. I've no idea what to say to Helen, so I haven't replied. I think the plan now is to try and find a new job closer to my hometown. I've moved across the country to live with Sam, and I've never really felt settled here. I also don't want to run into her and Tom around town. Luckily, we rent. And there is a third update, folks. Let's get into it. My
What?
soon-to-be ex-wife is pregnant and has suggested to her friend that it's mine. The only way this is possible if she's had our final frozen embryo implanted without my permission. I'm waiting for a call back from the clinic, but I'm freaking out and want to get an idea of the potential consequences. Edit, I've finally spoken to the clinic manager, and it seems this is all down to my own stupidity. When our last embryo didn't take, we signed all the paperwork a few weeks later to do the final transfer. My wife then developed some hormonal issues, so we paused the process until she could get it sorted out. Then, for various reasons, we decided not to proceed with the transfer, which she told the clinic. Apparently, they just paused the process for up to 3 years in order to protect our deposit, and the consent forms remained valid. My wife had the transfer 6 weeks ago. Wow.
What is wrong with your
Why?
ex-wife, bro? What?
Why? She
She-
literally
so-
left you and then had your baby?
Yeah, she's like, this relationship was already broken. We just got married to try to save it. I know what to do. I'll have your child.
What? Update 4. I'm 41 male, about to move in with my pregnant ex-wife, 37 female. How can we make this work? Don't. Don't do that. Literally don't do that.
How to make that work? Yeah.
My ex-wife is pregnant with our first child due on Christmas Eve. We broke up last Christmas and I moved back in with my parents 200 plus miles away. She started a relationship with a coworker, which caused so much drama at her work that in February, she reached a mutual agreement that she would immediately resign in exchange for 6 months' salary.
Dang, she's a mess.
That's crazy.
They literally are like, we'll pay you 6
We'll
months of
pay you
salary
to
to just
leave.
leave. Get out.
The relationship ended and she used the settlement money to restart the IVF process we'd paused years earlier.
Oh my, what?
This lady is a mess.
Why would you do that?
This
You could
lady's
have
a
done
mess.
anything.
When I found out she was pregnant, I contacted the IVF clinic, who explained that the contracts we'd signed at the start of the process were still valid and they hadn't done anything wrong. I disagreed and hired solicitors specializing in clinical negligence and contract law. They managed to negotiate a settlement with the clinic in lieu of legal action, and my ex and I ended up with about 80K pounds each after fees. I'm sorry, she got 80K? She wanted this.
Whatever, good. You can use that for the kid.
Plus, the clinic updated their processes to require consent to be reconfirmed by both parties before any embryo transfer takes place. For the last 4 months, I've been in regular contact with my ex, discussing settlement negotiations and traveling down south for scans. When I asked why she did it, she just said she knew this was her last chance to have a baby, and when she came into some money, she took it as a sign she should go ahead with the embryo transfer before I remembered to withdraw consent.
Disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Literally disgusting.
Hey, you know what? If you're too old to have a kid, you can always adopt.
Literally. There's so many other options that didn't involve like coercing your ex-partner into a parent, like into a parenting situation. She's since been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which in her mind has absolved her of any responsibility for her actions.
Oh, the opposite of how it works. Oh,
She's
no.
desperate for us to get back together and raise our son as a family. I'm not interested in being a couple, but I obviously don't want to be 200 miles away from my son. I've got a new job, so I really didn't want to move back down to Hampshire, but she's willing to move up to Yorkshire as long as we live together. So we agreed to spend the settlement money on a house in my hometown. This is a
Oh,
bad idea.
no.
This is such a bad idea.
Buddy, you are not. This
do
kid
that.
is not set up for success.
Don't do that. Just don't do that. Just try and get custody. I don't know. I picked up the keys last week and I've been furnishing and decorating in preparation for us moving in next week. My ex has no friends or family around here and no job. Us living together is going to be super awkward, but once the baby comes, I'm hoping we can get into a co-parenting routine. The new house has 3 bedrooms, so we'll have 1 each and 1 for our son. We've agreed not to see other people for at least 3 years. Her request.
What?
I don't see us rekindling a romantic relationship, but in an ideal world, we'll live together for a few years, then sell the house, by which point she'll be settled here and we can live close to each other and co-parent our son. I hope I'm not being unbelievably naive and making a huge mistake. My parents are excited to be grandparents, but they're not keen on the idea of us living together. Yeah, no one's keen on this. This is a terrible idea. And there is an update. Update 5, I'm 41 male, about to move back in with my pregnant ex-wife. How can we make this work 3 months after last update? To say my last post got a negative response would be an understatement. It was a strange feeling reading all the replies saying what a mistake I was making after putting in so much thought and spending lots of time and effort to get where I was. Someone sent me a link to a TikTok of my previous posts. Hearing the worst time of my life being read out loud. Sorry, dude.
Hey, it really puts things in perspective, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
It made me realize I hadn't even began to process what happened last Christmas or why, and I contacted a therapist the next day. Good. Sam moved in the day before my first appointment. It was awkward, but she was busy organizing her new room, so I just left her to it. That night, we ordered pizza and watched a movie. It was nice. Okay. I met the therapist the next day and explained the situation. He thought the whole thing was a bad idea. Yeah, that makes sense.
Him and everybody else, my guy.
She got you with the pregnancy, dude.
She really baby trapped you. But as we were now living together, he agreed to help us navigate things as smoothly as possible. He thought couples therapy would be the best option. Sam and I have seen him every week since then and gone through our entire relationship. After 4 miscarriages, the last 2 at 12 plus weeks, absolutely wrecked Sam's mental health, I started cooling on the idea of continuing to try for a child. Instead of talking to Sam, she so desperately wanted to be a mom, I thought it would break her. I just pulled away from her, which is probably where a lot of those relationship troubles started.
Yeah.
Of course, she noticed and blamed herself and began spiraling. Couple this with undiagnosed bipolar disorder and the hormone issue which resulted from the IVF, and it was a recipe for disaster. Sam thought, possibly correctly, that I wanted out of the relationship but was too cowardly to come out and say it, so I just checked out and waited for her to get sick of me. The whole Tom situation was the straw that broke the camel's back, and she gave up fighting for our marriage and let me get out guilt-free. In therapy, I've learned to accept my responsibility for the breakup of our marriage. I wasn't a good husband towards the end, and it's a miracle Sam stuck around as long as she did. The time apart made me realize how much I still love her. We've agreed to try and embrace what has happened and be thankful it brought us to where we are now. So we're now back living as a couple. I canceled the divorce, which was taking ages as Sam refused to engage with it. Our son was born on December 11th, 2 weeks earlier than expected, and he's absolutely perfect. I'm holding him as I write this. I know a lot of people who read my previous posts will be disappointed with how I've handled this, but at the end of the day, we've only got one chance at life, and I honestly can't think of a better way to spend mine.
I mean, I'm not really disappointed. I'm more just concerned.
just
It feels like
concerned,
you've done
just
everything that was
worried.
correct
Yeah.
morally.
And
But
then had to come back. Thanks for all your advice over the past year, and Merry Christmas. And there is a 6th update. It doesn't seem like it gets better from here. Seems like it might get a little worse. Update 6. Can I take my son out of the country without his mother's express permission? And 5 months after last update. My wife gave birth to our son in December. She suffers from untreated bipolar disorder, and after Christmas, she developed severe PPD. We agreed she'd go and stay with her mom for a week as she was spiraling and needed a break. She never came back, and we're no longer in direct contact.
Oh.
my
She
good-
disappeared off the
How?
face of the planet after she
She
had the
baby
baby.
trapped you, had the baby, and then left you with the kid. Our last conversation was over a month ago, and it didn't go well. She apparently has no interest in being in our son's life or even getting updates on him. As far as I know, she still lives with her mom 200 plus miles away.
Well, good. She probably wouldn't have been good for the kid.
No
And you're going to be a
way.
great dad.
Yeah.
And you're going to find another partner
Who doesn't suck?
who embraces your child.
But I have interest in you guys listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Get all the stuff that she's saying about not wanting to be a parent in writing, and then do whatever you want.
Yeah. And then make sure she stays not a parent. Anyway, I've been offered a secondment at my company's Swedish office, covering maternity leave for a year.
Yeah, Swedish. Yeah.
I want to take it, but I don't want to tell my wife, as she would likely try to throw a spanner in the works. I have my son's passport and original birth certificate. Can I just go without telling her? I think you need to get custody. I think you need to take all of the evidence that she has left you and your son and hasn't been around, and then use that to get full custody of your son. We also own a house together, which I'd like to rent out while I'm away. If she turns up out of the blue and finds someone else living here, could she do anything? There's no mortgage and all the bills are in my name, but she's on the deeds. Oof. To be clear, if she ever decides to unblock me and wants to see her son, then of course we'd come back. I'm not looking to take him away from her forever, but I think this would be good for us. And that is the end of that story. I mean, personally,
I think you're naive.
Talk to a lawyer.
You're naive thinking that that's just going to become good. I don't know. She needs to treat her bipolar.
Yeah, but that's not really.
She needs to
anything that
take
we can do
her
about that.
mental health seriously.
She's
And if
just
she's not going to
around.
do that, this cycle is just going to go and go over and over and over again.
I think you just have to kind of like stay apart from her, regardless of whether or not she comes back. I believe my wife is gaslighting me, and I don't know what to do.
Gaslighter pack.
First and foremost, yes, I know this sounds ridiculous, and this will probably get downvoted as a troll post, but I sincerely don't know where to turn. I've never experienced anything like this. Little background, my wife has always been sort of a jokester. She's got a great poker face, and I'm fairly gullible, so she'll feed me little innocuous lies pretty frequently and delights when I fall for them. But she's never kept a deception going for more than a day. She also got really into weird Twitter a few months ago, and her sense of humor has become pretty inscrutable and opaque to me. But until very recently, I've just considered it a sort of endearing quirk. By the way, this comes from Wife Going Crazy. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So anyway, Christmas, my in-laws got all of us Battlestar Galactica on DVD. They were always raving about it, and neither of us had watched it. I had to leave for a business trip on the 30th, and my wife was sick. So we ended up just marathoning the whole thing before I left. Without giving too much away, the ending is a little heavy on the religious angle. I liked it, but my wife thought it ruined the entire show. I know general consensus is it's a bit of a letdown, but I frankly felt it was pretty consistent with what the show had been building up to the whole time. My wife couldn't believe that I didn't feel the same way as her. I wouldn't quite describe her as livid, but she was mad. I figured this was partially a reaction from her just being fed up from being sick for a week, but it was so out of character for her. We barely ever fight, and this was over something so trivial. She called me a moron and ended up tossing and turning after we went to bed, and eventually left to sleep on the couch. When I got up in the morning to head to the airport, she was still fast asleep. And when I gently shook her to say goodbye, she barely roused and didn't respond when I said I loved her. Fast forward to Monday. I get back from the trip. Friend picks me up from the airport because wife has a class at the gym that she couldn't miss. We'd been texting while I was gone, and she was apologizing for being weird about things, and I thought everything was back to normal. But I found it a bit odd that she couldn't skip a gym session to grab me. I couldn't sleep on the plane, so I hit the hay when I got home. When I woke up, she was already awake and busy in the kitchen, which is bizarre since she doesn't work and usually doesn't wake up until 10ish. I commented on this and hugged her and said good morning, and she basically responded with little grunts. I was about to leave when she handed me a brown bag lunch. She has never done this before and said to me, "It's cold out there. Better hoagie down." I was going to be late for a meeting, so I couldn't stick around to try and make sense of what was happening. After I got out, I texted her frantically to try and figure things out, but she kept responding like it never happened. Everything was fine. She loved me. She asked me to please stop being so weird. When I got home, it was more of the same. I assumed it must be one of her weird jokes and decided to leave it. Every morning this week, same exact thing. Wife is up, won't speak to me, hands me a brown bag lunch and says, "It's cold out there, better hoagie down." Walks to the bathroom, slams the door. This morning I had enough and yelled at her through the door, pleaded with her to stop, but she didn't say a word. Every night it's been the same thing. Didn't happen. What are you talking about? You're being crazy. None of this is happening. She's been legitimately angry with me, and for the last few nights we haven't been sleeping together. I heard her talking to her mother about this on the phone. I seriously have no idea what to do. I brought up couples counseling and she was incredulous. Is this some weird Twitter thing or new meme that I don't know about? Even if it is, she's taken this way too far. I don't know how I'm going to spend a weekend at home with her. Does anyone have any advice? Edit. Thanks for the help, everyone. I've been up all night worrying, and I'm gonna finally try to get some sleep. Taking the day off work, gonna try and have a serious discussion with my wife, her parents, and get a hold of her psychiatrist when I wake up. We'll keep everyone posted, and there is an update, folks. Woke up an hour ago with a huge headache. I went to the fridge to get a protein smoothie and saw that it had been cleared of what little food we had in there. Wife was not in the house. Got dressed and went to the door with the intent of going to get some food. Saw a brown paper bag with "It's cold out there, better hoagie down" written in cursive taped to the door. Opened the bag and a can of ginger ale was in there. Went outside and her car's still there. But as far as I can tell, she took wallet, keys, coat, etc. We live about 5 minutes outside of a nice town, and she likes to take long walks, so I'm assuming that's where she is. This has officially gone way too far. I'm gonna wait an hour and see if she comes home, or she or her parents return my calls. If not, I am driving to her parents to hopefully make sense of the situation. Bringing the video of her and the bag will update tonight, hopefully. And there is an update, folks. And we're going to dive right into it.
Okay.
No sign of her. Got a call from her parents. That was just the sounds of them arguing in the background. Hung up after about 30 seconds. No idea what's that about. Driving there now. Got a call from her parents. That was the sound of them arguing in the back.
So,
So
their
called
parents
you.
called you fighting, being like, "I can't believe
But
he
they're in the
doesn't know about hoagie down."
background. Yeah, they're in the background. So they called you, put you presumably like on the table or something, walked back, started fighting with each other, and then hung up after 30 seconds.
This is just a real interesting family dynamic going down.
I really need to know what this is all leading up to. 2 days later, I am currently sedated, but I wanted to post this update because I don't know when I'll have a chance to next. The short of it is that my wife was not at fault here. I was. I've gotten into the habit of taking Benadryl to help me sleep throughout the night. Oh no! Oh no, he is going crazy.
Is his wife a hallucination?
This whole time he's been hallucinating,
That'd be
guys.
so sad.
Imagine being the wife and having actually no idea what your partner is talking about. They're like, "Sorry, what'd you say?" And you're like, "What?" They're like, hoagie down, and you're like, "I didn't."
Wife's like,
hoagie down.
hoagie down.
What are you talking about?
But it was written down, wasn't it? Wasn't it written on a note in cursive?
Oh my god, this is so elaborate. That's true, unless she's making him think that he's crazy.
Honestly,
She's like, "Baby, it's just the Benadryl."
I don't know who I would be like, who's wrong, because I think you should be able to determine that it's a weird, harmless prank if it's just hoagie down and a can of ginger ale on the door. But like, I think at some point you become responsible for tormenting your husband to the point where he needs to be sedated.
My wife snores and I'm allergic to cats, so it makes sense. And over time, I've ended up taking more and more to the point that some nights I'll take 5 or 6 if I'm having trouble breathing. I know this is probably really stupid and it bit me in the butt. When I got home from the airport, all 3 of my wife's cats were on the bed. I searched my nightstand for some Benadryl and couldn't find any. I looked in my wife's drawer and found a bottle of hers. She's also allergic to cats, but also gets allergy shots. Oh my goodness. It turns out that the Benadryl bottle was actually where she was keeping her old Seroquel. Both are pink, so I didn't give it a second thought. I popped 6. I went to sleep. This is apparently where everything unraveled. Fast forward to me driving to her parents' house. I started feeling incredibly dizzy about an hour out and pulled over. I sat in the car for a while, but the feeling didn't go away, so I decided to get a motel and confront them the next day. I took a handful of the Seroquel and went to sleep. I got up today in this weird mania. I got to her parents' place at 9-ish. Her car was there, which didn't make any sense. I rang the doorbell and her father opened the door. He was surprised to see me. I was sweating heavily and having a hard time speaking. My father-in-law has always been exceptionally kind to me, and he was sort of straddling the line between concern and terror. I didn't understand what was going on. I started crying. I brought out the paper bag, and I tried to explain. I pulled out my phone to show him the video. My wife ran to the door with this pained expression on her face and asked me what I was doing, pleading with me to calm down. My in-law said I had been terrorizing his daughter. He had no idea why I would do this. I didn't understand. She pulled out her phone and showed me a video. It was me banging on the bathroom door, yelling at her to come out. She had clearly taken it from behind the couch in the living room. She showed me another of me just standing at the door before work, just staring at nothing. She showed me a video of my behavior after I came home from work, and I was being much more aggressive and much less cogent than I remembered. Apparently, she had left home Tuesday night. I was alone in the house for 2 days. I just collapsed. I pulled up the video on my phone, or I tried to. I couldn't find it. All I found were 16 odd pictures of the ground and my feet in quick succession. It was right around that point that I started experiencing this crippling dizziness and this feeling that I can't quite describe as nauseous, but it felt like I couldn't sit still and I was shaking and I felt like no direction was up. The doctors told me this was called akathisia. Apparently, someone called an ambulance because I could not sit still and said I thought I was passing away. At the hospital, I was barely able to talk, and I couldn't concentrate, and I just wanted to sleep. They apparently pumped me full of Ativan, and I slept for 5 or 6 hours. When I came to, they started asking me a ton of questions. Once we got to medications I may have taken, I mentioned the Benadryl, and my wife realized what had happened and explained about the Seroquel. They're not entirely sure, but at this point, their best guess is the Seroquel either put me into some manic state or triggered some underlying schizophrenia, something, I don't know. They don't really know how to explain the delusions and the hallucinations right now, but it's the best they've got at the moment. They asked if anyone in my family had a history of mental illness, and I responded that I didn't know. My parents are pretty old, and I don't know much about my grandparents.
I'm sorry. There's no way you told the doctors that you were taking the amount that you were taking if they don't know why you could have been having hallucinations or stuff. Taking that much of either of those, they'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
You probably just told them,
figured it
yeah, I
out.
took some Seroquel, or I took some Benadryl. Not like I took
Figured
8
it
of them.
out.
I took 6 of them.
The dizziness started to roll over me again, and they gave me more Ativan, and I went back to sleep. While I was out, my wife contacted my parents. Apparently, my grandfather had a mean temper and suffered delusions from time to time, rambling about things that didn't make any sense and waking up at weird hours to do God knows what. He never got a diagnosis and passed away fairly young, but my mother and her family think it might have been schizophrenia. By the way, you can hoagie down with us and listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, and I think it might be my favorite story that we've ever read. But do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, don't take 6 Benadryl before you go to bed.
PSA, don't take 6 Benadryl before you go to bed.
Or you're
just
gonna
ever
wake
in one
up
go.
and see your wife as a shadow person who tells you to hoagie down.
I just don't understand how this was going on for 6 weeks. Or I don't know, I just made up that number.
However
long. For a couple
long.
weeks, for however long, more than a day.
Yeah.
More than a day. And OP he's bringing it up to his partner, and she didn't question any of this. She wasn't like, my partner keeps asking me why I keep telling him, you better hoagie down. I'm not going to call 911. I'm not going to say, dude, you need to get checked into a hospital.
It's crazy.
I've never said hoagie down in my life.
This is such a crazy path we went down because it started, I was like, oh, his wife has brain rot.
Yeah.
No, you have brain rot.
No, your
From
brain
Benadryl.
Your brain is undergoing psychosis.
You're seeing the shadow people.
Also, I'm sorry, man. Again, please read the medication that you're taking. Because I just recently, I just mentioned this, but I recently had a really bad reaction. Kind of an off-brand medication. Like, it was just a headache pill. And I was like, oh, I've never had this before, but, it's just a headache pill. Read the medication that you're taking, folks. Do a little bit of research, please, before you take any sort of medication, let alone 6.
I just looked up what Seroquel looks like.
What?
It doesn't look like Benadryl at all.
Is it pink though?
It's round.
Is it pink though?
It's not even the same color. It's like light
Can I
pink
see it?
instead of like you know the Benadryl
yeah,
pink.
I know it.
There's no way.
So maybe something, maybe nothing. Who knows? So right now I'm sitting in the hospital. The doctor and my wife are throwing around a number of ideas. I'm going to see a psychiatrist who's going to make a determination about what the next step is for sure. My wife is rightfully frightened of being around me in my current state. And while she doesn't appear to be mad at me, she says she would rather my brother look after me until I can get a proper diagnosis and get prescribed some medications. I have no idea where I came up with the phrase hoagie down. I was listening to a radio show that mentions hoagies and Philly a lot. The best show, formerly of WFMU, got the box set for Xmas. Maybe that's where I got it, but they never used the phrase specifically. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I just want to thank everyone who tried to help. Sorry if this ended up being a time waster or anticlimactic or whatever. TLDR, turns out I'm going crazy, currently getting treated. Very sorry if I wasted everyone's time.
Wait a minute.
And there's some comments.
I'm kind of starting to like think this is somewhat sweet
Yeah.
that his like Benadryl hallucination is his wife giving him a sandwich and being like, "It's cold out there.
Hold out there, better hoagie
Better
down.
hoagie down,
Yeah.
hubby. I care about you."
I do think it's so funny.
Then
That,
she's
well, I
like-
mean, it's not funny. It's kind of terrifying. But it's a little bit crazy that he was like, he heard this. Instead of just being like, that's super weird, he's like, what is this conspiracy theory?
Why
Why is she saying this every day? Yeah. Folks, if your partners or family members or anyone that you know is acting so completely out of character, check up on them.
Yeah.
Check up on them, man. Comments. Comment 1. Am I the only one who still wonders about why she reacted so strongly about the end of Battlestar Galactica that it led to her sleeping on the sofa? That was before he switched medication, right? Edit. According to the logic of the post, he wrote that all, the OG post, while under the influence of fancy meds, right? All that while he took pics of his feet while thinking that he recorded her? Reply, they got the DVDs for Christmas and binge watched the series by the 30th, so I'm guessing they were home pretty much 24/7 during that time. And I bet he was taking more Benadryl than usual since he was home more. I'm thinking his erratic behavior started before he left for the trip, and she was reacting to things he didn't remember clearly enough to write in this post. Comment 2, I'm not a doctor and I've never taken Benadryl, but isn't 5 to 6 Benadryls an excessive dose? And why on earth would taking medications out of the original packaging just to put it in the packaging of a different medication? Comment 3, why on earth would anyone put sedatives in an antihistamine bottle? This screams irresponsibility. No wonder the poor chap went bananas, although taking 6 Benadryl is asking for trouble too. And folks, that is the end of that truly insane story.
My wife started guarding her phone. Now I'm suspicious.
I'm suspicious too.
To give you the backstory, my wife, 38 female, and I, 38 male, have been married for 17 years and have 2 children, 16 male and 10 female. We were high school sweethearts who got married just after college. Our marriage has been mostly solid with no major issues. No splits, no abuse, no cheating, no passed away bedroom, etc. I've never had much reason to doubt my wife in the past and don't snoop on her phone / email, etc. I have a high stress job that requires me to work a lot. By the way, this comes from throwaway 12/6/2016. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. In addition, my wife has been acting a little strange lately, i.e. being more guarded of her phone, coming to bed hours after I go to bed, etc. So yesterday, I needed to submit my phone bill to my employer for expense purposes. We have bring your own device, and my employer reimburses us for a portion of our mobile phone bill as long as we submit the bills. I printed the bill and noticed it was longer than usual, 42 pages. With our provider, the bill lists all of the calls and texts you make during the month. So I started flipping through the bill, and I get to my wife's phone and notice one number repeatedly coming up a lot. Like, there's literally an entire page of uninterrupted texts, probably 100 plus, just to and from this number. There are multiple entries where she was texting this person until 1 or 2 in the morning, and one day where she texted continuously from 5 to 7. Usually I get home around 7. And then again from 9 to 11:30. Not only is the number not one I recognize, but it's not from our area code. It's from an area code in the same metro area as us, roughly 45 minutes away. So I do the old 1-2 the number in Facebook, and some guy's name comes up. Again, that I don't recognize and my wife has never mentioned to me. I call it from my work number and voicemail states the same name. So I confront my wife about it. She confesses to having carried on a non-romantic relationship with this person for a year and a half. She said she was lonely and went online on a website for people looking for non-romantic relationships.
Come on. Come on. I'm sorry. You went on a website that was specific. Like, those are just called friends.
Yeah, just
To be
go out
clear,
into
those
the
are just
world,
called friends. You're on a website looking for friends.
get a hobby.
Going on a website specifically for non-romantic relationships is that's crazy. That's just looking for friends. Why did you call it that? That's so suspicious.
I don't like that.
Second, you didn't tell your partner for a year and a half. I don't believe you that it's not romantic.
And wasn't going to plan to either, only found out from the phone bill. To be clear, she's had male friends in the past, and we currently have a couple friends that are male-female, and I've never objected to her talking to them. But she consciously hid this from me for a year and a half, and during the period, repeatedly lied to me when I would ask her who she was texting until 1 a.m. She insists nothing physical happened, and that they've never even met in person, and I'm inclined to believe her. She justified it to herself by saying that it never crossed that line. At the same time, I'm feeling very emotionally cheated on. She took a lot of time that she wasn't investing in our relationship and put it in a relationship with another man that she hid from me. I'm at something of a loss here. I make enough money, top 1%, that we don't have to worry about paying the mortgage if we split. And I'm not worried about finding another partner if that happened. I stay in pretty good shape. I love our kids as well and would really miss seeing them every night. That being said, I really feel like my trust was violated and don't know how I can recommit to spending my life with someone who would lie to me like that for a year and a half. Am I making too much of this?
No.
And we have an edit.
I think really quick, I don't think so. And I think that maybe before you jump to divorce, talk to your wife and say, hey, I need you to fully come clean. Let me see these texts. Let me look at
Yeah.
everything.
I need to read them all.
And if you don't want to do that, or if you're going to continue to lie to me, then this can't work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there you go.
To answer some of the obvious questions that I should have addressed from the start, yes, she's extremely apologetic. Her initial response when I asked her about it was, he's just a friend. I pushed on that, and she's admitted that it was inappropriate and that she lied about it. She was extremely apologetic and said that she would do anything not to lose me. She texted him last night and told him that she can't be in touch with him anymore and deleted his contact information from her phone. If we stay together, we will absolutely do couples counseling. Before I start, I want to sincerely thank all those who commented on my post, but especially those who mentioned the iPhone recovery software.
Smart.
I owe you a huge debt. Your why Reddit is great. Okay, we left off Monday night with her admitting to an emotional affair with another man for 1.5 years, but saying that was it.
Well, she said, oh, it was a non-romantic relationship.
That I found on a
Non-romantic
non-dating
dating website.
Yeah. After I posted on Reddit and people mentioned the iPhone recovery software, I phoned to tell her not to use her phone and that I was going to recover the information later that night. She immediately admitted to spicy texting the other guy. I got home and tried to run the software. For whatever reason, probably human error, it didn't work well. It only pulled up portions of 350 texts, and none of them seemed relevant. I decided not to pay $70 for the whole install and dropped the idea. I went out with a friend who had been the victim of adultery for drinks at 7 to discuss, and he thought I should give my wife a second chance as long as she had never met the other guy. I got home around 9:30. She was sitting with her best friend in the sunroom talking. I said an awkward hi to the best friend, who I am sure knew, and went up to my office. My wife came up 10 minutes later, when her friend had left, and immediately started yelling at me, telling me that I basically needed to get over it and that she wasn't going to feel like she had today for 6 months. And maybe you shouldn't have cheated.
Yeah, this relationship's done. Dunzo.
I kind of flipped out, noting that I had known for 30 hours and was only receiving trickle truths during that period. After we finished yelling at each other, she left. She went into my daughter's bedroom to comfort her. I assumed she left to text the other guy, and I finished up my work and went to bed in the guest room. I woke up about 1:30. I went into the master bedroom and grabbed her phone. I scrolled through the texts and emails, but there was almost nothing there, as anything older than a day or so had been deleted. I felt like I needed to be able to trust her, but
She's lying to you.
continued to firmly believe she was lying to me and that there were things she wasn't telling me.
You know that.
Yeah.
You have proof that she lied to you.
I put the phone back in her room and then went back into the office. I Googled iPhone recovery software and saw a couple results that looked interesting. I went back into the room and grabbed her phone again. This time she woke up and followed me into the office. I paid more attention to the software this time. I turned the phone into airplane mode, I disabled iTunes autosync, I closed all the programs, etc. I ran the free test and it came back with 3,500 results, the 6th of which was from the other guy. I paid the $50 for the software and ran the full program. It took about 10 minutes, during which she continually tried to convince me not to look at it. Once I had the results, I started going through the texts. The good news was that there was nothing that suggests she and the other guy met. I had been in Europe from Monday through Thursday of last week, and there were lots of recent texts. A lot of them were spicy related, but none suggested they were meeting. Which gets to the bad news. I asked when they started spicy texting. She said October.
I don't trust anything she says.
I looked through the texts. They're not really organized by name, just file size, so you kind of have to look through all of them. And found one from July. It was clearly from someone else anyway. The style was very different and was very spicy related forward. I can't wait to see you unclothed. I'll wear anything you want, etc.
Come on.
There was also discussion of meeting up. So she trickled truth meeting up with 2 other guys from Craigslist.
Oh my gosh. That was the non-dating website.
Correct. She said she fooled around with one of them, but that they met at a park so they didn't have spicy sleep. By the way, we'll never cry wolf about all the full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, favorite podcast app, search OK Storytime.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When someone trickle truths, you know there's always more. You can never trust them. If you say, hey, did you do this? And they say no, and then you find out that they did, and then they go, okay, well, I did that.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, well, did you do this? And they go, no. And then you find out.
It's
and they're
never
like,
going to
oh,
end.
I did that. Yeah, they're never going to tell you the
They're
truth.
already continually
And you
lying.
can't trust that they will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if they do, you'll never know.
Exact.
Divorce.
But we got a little bit left. At that point, I honestly felt like a huge weight had been taken off my shoulders. All of the doubt that I could trust her again became irrelevant, and I knew I could move on with a clean conscience. Later that night, she trickled truth sleeping with the other Craigslist guy one time. Last night, she admitted to sleeping with another guy in Alaska when she went there alone on vacation a year and a half ago. I do believe her that she didn't meet the guy she was texting continuously, given the texts I read. Although, given the way the texts were progressing, I firmly believe it would have happened
Yeah, she's
eventually.
like, I didn't sleep with that guy.
And that nothing seemed to happen when I was out of town for a week, but it doesn't really matter now. You can guess the postscript. She's been crying her eyes out and begging me to give her another chance. I plan on sticking together through the holidays for sake of the kids, but we'll be moving out come January.
Yikes. Good
That's the
stuff.
end of
Yeah,
that.
get out of there. She's a liar.
Run.
She's a cheater.
Run.
I faked being asleep to catch my wife in her lies.
I see ya.
The past couple of months, my wife has been complaining about our cats. She's been claiming that the cats wake her up constantly and that she's very frustrated every night as she has to get up and open the door for the cats, or the cats keep making noises, or the cats keep jumping on her. I have had cats do this to me before.
Sounds like cats.
It got to the point where she started saying she wants me to get rid of them. I told her I've never seen or heard any of this, but she claims I sleep through all of it.
It does sound like things that cats do, though.
I once had a cat try to build a nest in my hair.
What?
Yeah.
A cat?
Yeah.
A nest? Cats
Yeah, he
don't
was
build
like-
nests.
He was like clawing at my curly hair,
Okay, he was.
building a nest.
Riley, I don't think cats build nests.
He had sticks in his mouth. By the way, this comes from Sleepy Throwaway. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do know. So let us know what you know in the comments down below. OP continues to say, she's kept telling me she's been getting less and less sleep and kept acting aggressive, blaming lack of sleep from the cats, and that if I didn't get rid of them, she'd leave me.
Oh.
Cats. I was going to say, Riley, the cat was probably making biscuits on your head.
I think that if she's at the I'm leaving you if you don't get rid of these cats line, probably not a healthy relationship, and there's something else going on here.
Get rid of the cats. What's actually happening?
Yeah.
She's still gonna have lack of sleep?
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Cheating.
Ooh.
Cheating.
She's cheating. It might be cool to just give the cats to a friend for a week, see what happens.
Yeah, see if she still complains.
Trick her. Babe, I got rid of the cats today.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens.
Oh, but they're still there. You
They're just better at hiding.
Yeah.
The cat's out of the bag.
I know where that came from, by the way.
Yeah, explain.
Wait, really?
No, we don't have time.
Maybe later.
I legitimately started considering giving the cats to my sister until I noticed something. One morning, she claimed she had gotten up multiple times throughout the night to help the cats. She listed a bunch of times. I thought it was weird because I'd been up till 4 a.m. She claimed that she got up at 1 a.m. to open the door for them, and a few times around 3 a.m. because they were meowing and jumping on her. I was in the bedroom the entire time while she slept, and I know none of that happened. Things weren't adding up, so I decided to run a test. I waited until she said she was going to bed. Then I let the cats out of her bedroom, lowered my phone brightness, and faked going to sleep. I just laid there in the bed for the entire night, bored, but I definitely didn't fall asleep.
That's impressive. That's hard to do.
It is hard to
To
do.
just lay there and not fall asleep.
You were at least playing movies in your head, though.
Yeah, you were like, oh, that's fun. That's a good one.
I can play Guardians of the Galaxy movie in my head. I made sure to make the timestamps every 30 minutes on my phone through Discord just to be sure. I marked down every noise my cats made. One cat had jumped down from something and made a little sound at 3:18. I'm sorry, just the fact that we're doing this is crazy.
Yeah, I'm just imagining it's like, and then you just hear,
A little jump.
yeah. And the wife just goes,
And one ate food relatively quiet by the bedroom door at 4:57 a.m. Other than that, nothing had happened.
It's a specific
OP is like logging it because he's faking being asleep, so he can't
Yeah.
put it on his phone. So he's just
How
like,
does he know this in his... Like,
well, he has his phone with him,
Well, he
so
has
I
his
guess
phone
he
on
must be
lowered on
typing it.
brightness
Yeah,
and
so I
is
guess he's
typing
like 4:57.
Sure enough, my wife slept from 11 p.m. until 9 a.m., 10 solid hours of sleep. And that morning, she claimed she had woken up at least 7
I
times
think she just hates the cats.
to open doors from cat noises and cat jumping on her. Okay, so my theory was she was cheating,
Yeah.
and she used the cat thing to just kind of, say like, oh, I've been up cheating, but the cats are the ones that are blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but she was asleep.
That's where I'm like,
Oh,
now I'm
you're
confused.
I think she just doesn't like these cats, and she wants any reason to get rid of them.
Okay, Keon?
I was going to agree with you on that. I think maybe she doesn't even know. Like, this is very odd that does she think she's waking up? Maybe she's dreaming it?
Is she dreaming it, Miss Jaybird?
Oh, yeah, Miss Jaybird, is she dreaming? I feel like she's dreaming it because, you can have very realistic dreams, but the fact that she's dreaming this every night is very peculiar.
Yeah, maybe she's having vivid dreams. Yeah.
Like, if it was like once in a blue moon or like once a week, I get it, but it's like every night. Like, cats
In
are...
her dream, she wakes up and lets the cats out.
Dude, okay, we're not even a seventh of the way through.
Dang.
At this point, I was pissed because she was clearly lying to me. I was exhausted and fed up with the lies. So I bluntly called her out on it. I told her, that's funny. I stayed up all night to monitor the cats, and they weren't even in the room at all last night. I have timestamps and everything. So you've been lying to me, trying to convince me to get rid of my cats. Why?
Why? Tell me why.
Feels like the villain scenes in all the movies.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it?
She just sat there quietly, shaking and looking pissed, then got up and left without answering. She came back hours later and ignored me whenever I tried to talk to her. And when I asked her how I'm the bad guy in this situation, she finally said that I was treating her like a child by lying about sleeping and staying up all night just to see if she was lying or not.
Then why are you lying, girl?
And that making timestamps and everything as if I was an investigator was going too far and makes me an obsessive a-hole.
She's trying to flip it on you, girl. I mean, guy. She's trying to flip it on you.
Did you see what she did?
I just flipped it.
Sure you did.
What? She's just
No,
not
no,
a
no.
cat gal?
Yeah, I guess not.
No, I think there's more to it. There has to be more to
What do you
this.
think? What more is there, though?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
This is very weird stuff.
Because I was thinking cheating, and she was using the cats as the goat.
She's asleep. What is she doing? Why is she doing it?
I did it because she was threatening to make me get rid of my cats, or she'd leave me, and her claims didn't add up. So, am I an obsessive a-hole?
No. Your wife is suspicious, and I want to know what's up with her.
Yeah.
What's she hiding?
Some comments
Where
from
are you hiding?
Where is she?
Where is she?
If Batman was gay in that movie, he would have saved Rachel.
What?
What?
Think about it.
I haven't seen the movie.
Think
Who's,
about it.
Who's Rachel?
Some comments from OP. Yeah, small apartment, living area, bedroom, bathroom. She refuses to sleep with the doors open, so keeping them open wasn't an option to keep the cats from wanting in and out. We're just under 30, her a little younger than I. Neither of us do recreational drugs, though she's on antidepressants.
She's on that antidepressant.
We have another comment. Not the a-hole. That was gaslighting and manipulative, and if she has issues with your cats, she should have said so directly.
Yeah, before she married you.
We have a reply, not excusing her actions or lying at all. She's clearly is trying to remove the cats by lying. But I wonder if there is any possibility she's got a sleeping disorder or medical condition that's making her think she's waking up and hearing cats. I mean, just to rule out that there is any actual reasonable reason she thinks she's waking up doesn't solve the cat hatred issue because she's admitted she wants them gone any way possible, which is wrong. But I have to wonder if there's something else going on here. Comment 2, does she really dislike cats? I'm struggling to understand what her reasoning would be if that isn't the case. It does sound like you two are well suited on other fronts, so it would be a shame to throw it away over this. Is she stressed about other things and misdirecting it, perhaps?
I think she's lying about something. I think she just wants an out.
I'm at a loss because we have so much more to go.
Where could this go?
Yeah.
Where is this going? Who is this?
This might be the craziest story we have. Like, it could end up with a DNA test.
Maybe this is a Hoagie Down situation where she took 6 Benadryls
Perhaps.
and she's hallucinating these cats.
Yeah, Reese's My Pieces says the wrong antidepressants can mess with your brain.
Yeah.
He says she had cats of her own for years.
What?
She had known me and my cats for 4 years before we got married. Now she's been around them for about 10 years. Never had any problems with them. Even made good comments about how they've livened up the place.
Strange.
We got an update. Okay. I need everyone's theories right now.
At the end, I think it's the simplest. It's the Occam's razor of it all. The
Yeah.
simplest answer is the right answer. I think that she just wants it out.
Okay.
I think she doesn't want to be in this relationship anymore, and she's blaming it on everything.
Get rid of the cats, soon it'll be OP.
Yeah, the fact that she's like not trying to find a solution for the cats is like either you get rid of the
Or
cats
I
or
leave.
or I leave.
I feel like that's just, I want to get out of this relationship. That's my 2 cents.
The only other thing is the antidepressants.
Yeah,
that might
could
be
be.
playing a factor here.
I think that's another. Those are my 2 main theories.
Yeah.
Her antidepressants, something's going on there, or she just wants it out.
She seems like she's sleeping solidly through the night.
Yeah.
She's just a dog person, guys.
She's just a dog, even though she had cats.
No, she's a cat person.
No, she's just a dog person. People can switch. People can change.
Update. She's gone for now. I kicked her out of the house.
Oh.
Why? Because she's been in the bedroom for hours now, watching YouTube, refusing to talk to me about what's happened.
Well, maybe she's watching a good YouTube.
Maybe she's watching OK
Maybe she's
Story
watching
Time.
us.
I was gonna say.
Maybe Dakota hit the 2x for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and she's got more time.
A few minutes ago, one of the cats started meowing and scratching to get in the room. Within seconds of him doing that, she ran over to the door and kicked it really hard and screamed, "This is all your fault. F off."
Whoa, you're screaming at the little kitty cat? Little cutie cat?
He's going meow.
She said, "That is not your fault." And she went back to watching us. Our followers would never act like this.
It scared the crap out of the cat, and he hid under the couch.
Aw.
I opened the door and asked her what her deal was, that it could have hurt the cat. She said, "Good. F the cat."
Whoa.
So I told her to get out of the house and go find somewhere else to stay for a while. She tried to cry her way out of the situation, but I told her I had enough. I'm done. She had every opportunity to talk to me. Now she's screaming at the cats and kicking the doors and scaring them. I tried to listen and offered help, but she wanted none of it. Too late. Honestly, if I have pets with a significant other, those are my kids.
So, yeah, well,
You can't
I
be
mean,
yelling at my kids like that.
they're your responsibility, and the way that you treat them is also pretty indicative of how you would treat a child.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think there is a difference between a child and a pet, but a pet is a trial run to how you're gonna treat your kid.
Ultraviolet, she did not with the cat. She hit the door,
Yeah.
and the cat was behind the door because the cat wanted to get in. But still, nonetheless, if that door wasn't there, I feel like she still would have done
A
it.
cruel act towards an animal.
Not okay.
As she was leaving, I told her she can call me when she's calmed down and willing to talk. I'm just so drained at this point. I tried. I gave her a chance to talk before all of this, and she insisted there was nothing to talk about. My favorite kind of talk. I may have not handled it in the most mature way, sure, but I tried. Maybe this can be fixed, maybe not. I just hope a few hours ago. Now I just whatever. Update 2.
Oh man, I still don't know what's going on.
I'm confused.
I think we need to go right into it because I have no thoughts other than what I've already said.
Keon?
Get into it. No, he said she, the door.
No, the story said that she kicked the door.
Update 2 days later. My wife has been Baker Act. She did not hurt herself, just said something concerning in public. I got a call from the hospital this morning asking me to head over for some family therapy. Apparently, she finally wanted to talk. I'll be honest, I'm pretty pissed at the reason why she's been so hateful towards my cats. It's absolutely asinine.
Finally, we'll know the reason. Please, I need to know.
From a scale of 1 to 10 of how stupid this is, it's an 11.
Oh no.
Do you want to have any slight of a guess of what it could have been? Any slight?
No.
Any reasons why she hates
Why
cats?
Because her ex had a cat.
Okay. Go littler.
I don't have.
I just need one example and I'll get right into it. I just want to see what kind of thing you could have thought of.
I know the cat leaves its
She had to clean
drags
up
all
after a cat.
of the litter around the house. That's my guess.
The cat farts.
farts. The cat farts.
Okay. According to her, one of the cats stepped on her laptop and ruined a story she was writing.
Oh, dude, that can't be it.
How did it ruin it?
I don't believe.
How did it
that.
ruin it? How did it delete it? You can pull that back up. Did it delete something and you reverse
Control
that?
Z.
Yeah, Control Z.
Well, there's no way that's the actual reason.
Yeah, that it is. It is.
If that's her actual
Come
reason, I'm like,
on.
good, stay here.
Yeah, you're
bye.
done. We're done.
She hated both cats ever since.
What?
I mean, that sucks.
One cat didn't even
What
do
cat-
anything.
I was going to say one cat was even
Cat's like,
involved.
I didn't even touch your story.
But it's not worth trying to emotionally blackmail me into getting rid of them. I asked her why she didn't tell me the truth and why she'd been lying and refused to talk about it when I asked her.
Do we believe this? Do we actually believe this?
Her answer was, because you wouldn't have gotten rid of them otherwise, and explained that when she saw I wasn't willing to abandon them for her, she took offense and made it a goal to have me pick her over them.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, guess what? If she wants that, I'm picking the cats over her.
Wow.
And I'm allergic to cats.
Ooh, yep. This is over.
Sickening. Don't know why she actually admitted to it all. The woman with us asked me how I felt about all of it, and I just told him the truth. I told her it was a nice run, but I'm probably going to want a divorce. I was asked why, and I told them I've seen a new hateful, malicious side of her that I want nothing to do with. She was so set on getting rid of the cats over a fan fiction being ruined that she manipulated her husband.
She's not even a writer.
She's not even a writer. Wait, she's writing fan fiction?
Yeah, he was over fan fiction.
Stop. She's like, and Harry reached over to caress Draco's face, and then the cat like steps on it and like just starts typing like worse fan fiction. It's like Voldemort.
No. Better fan fiction.
Yeah, it's better. It's better. It's like fixes all the plot holes. No. Yeah, she's asleep and the cat's out there being like, and then Harry.
Cat's putting the work in.
and then they went to school together.
The other cat's probably meowing some answers
it's
to
like,
it.
Yeah, no, not that one. The cat's like, got it. Okay, yeah. The other cat's the beta writer. Okay.
And she's been plotting against the cats
Yeah,
ever
and she's
since.
reading it, and it's like Ratatouille, but with cats and fan fiction.
I would look her in the eyes, like, you did all that because a cat walked on your laptop. And she's like, yeah, now you see my side of it, right?
She's like, now you understand. My 100K slow burn fanfic was destroyed by your cat.
My wife started shouting at me that I've betrayed her, and that I'm scum for choosing animals over her. At least cats don't give ultimatums like she gave. I'm almost sure I'm going for divorce. I'm very worried about having her in the same house as my cats. I want my cats safe. I don't want to worry about them being harmed or disappearing. Screw that. I guess I'll do what most of you suggested. Keep the cats or home the wife.
Nice.
Not how I wanted to end it, but
Life.
isn't always nice. If I may, I want to clear up some things from the original post. I did not stare at her all night.
We didn't even read the freaking post. OP was there on his phone being like, just gonna make sure she's not freaking waking up. He wasn't like, at 3 a.m. she twitched. At 4:70, at 4:45, she moved a little bit.
Also, if your partner has a problem with your cats, make your cats watch this episode.
Yeah.
This is
We're on your
Cat-
cat's side.
this is a cat-friendly episode. I have a mute TV with subtitles playing every night. I subtly watch TV while paying attention to the cat sounds. I'm not allowed to install cat doors, and she won't let me keep the doors open. Apartment rules. Why did I instantly assume she was lying? I'm unfamiliar with mental health issues, so when someone tells me events happened when they literally didn't, I generally assume they're lying. Update 2 weeks later.
Oh, I hope it's like I haven't seen her because we're broken up.
Yeah,
She gone.
I think
You got another cat.
someone's got to replace the wife.
Yeah.
I sadly believe that we have a missing cat.
No, don't take the cat. She's like, she's shaking the cat. And she's like, if you don't write my fan fiction for me, you're done.
All this over some fan fiction, man. This is wild. This really shows how far your wife has fallen.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Wild.
I've never heard that excuse before.
Nor have I.
I've heard like making a dog run outside because they didn't like him because they thought like, you know what? Actually, this is the same scenario as all the other ones. People think that they're prioritizing their pets over them and they get jealous.
That's what this is.
Oh.
You don't even appreciate my fan fiction. You never read it.
Update 3, 2 weeks later. It's over. A divorce is inevitable. She went full psycho. I thought her being Baker acted would help.
Unleash the beast. That's what it did.
Well, probably it's kind of shown that there's a lot more going on here than, you expected or anybody clearly expected.
Right after the last update, I left her a message saying that I'll be here to support her if she wants me to, and that if she wants her items, she'll have to meet me at the apartment. I figured she'd read it when she got released. After she was released from the hospital, she texted me, I'm getting my crap. I told her that her old key won't work anymore and that I got off work in about an hour and could let her grab her things then. She replied, I don't think so.
She said, I don't think so. She's like doing like that. She's a Last of Us.
A clicker?
Please don't ever
Become a clicker.
be in a horror movie.
Okay.
They'll never be able to see you.
Yeah, I'll delete.
You're
I
pretty
could be.
convincing.
It's the eyes.
It is.
Ah!
I rushed home from work to find my bedroom window smashed.
Whoa!
I live on the second floor with no balcony.
Whoa! Okay, well now I'm scared.
You made these cats made her into a villain.
Shh. Dude, she turned into Catwoman.
She had broken the window and somehow climbed over the outer wall to enter the window. She took her laptop, headphones, and on her way out, she destroyed the cat litter box and the cat tree.
Terrifying.
I also couldn't find any of their toys anywhere. Thank you to those who advised me to have my sister watch my cats for a while.
Girl, get out of
I
there.
knew that was going to happen.
Get out of there.
The cats are safe with her, and she doesn't know where my sister lives.
Good.
I called her, and she instantly declined the call and texted me, what? I told her to pay to replace what she damaged. She tried to be clever by responding with, no amount of money can fix what damage you caused. I didn't take anything either. You owe me a new laptop.
For what?
For the cat stepping on it.
What a dumb idiot. No,
The cat didn't even break the laptop.
I think she's like, oh, I didn't take anything. By the way, where's my laptop? Like, someone stole my laptop. You need to buy me a new one.
I never even mentioned her laptop was gone.
Yep.
So it's obvious she was lying yet again. Thankfully, we have a tile account that lets us track items, and we both have tiles in our cars. I found her car in a Walmart parking lot, and through the window, I could see all the stolen items, along with her laptop and headphones. I just straight up called the police at this point. Long story short, we're going to be spending a lot of time in court. Mental illnesses or not, I have no sympathy for her anymore. She broke into my apartment, stole my crap, lied about it, tried to get me to pay for her crap. That's ignoring the fact that she destroyed the litter box and cat tree. I'm 100% certain that if the cats were home, she would have hurt, unalived, or kidnapped them. I do know that divorce is guaranteed. I'd also like a restraining order and money back for the damage,
Yeah,
but that might be too much.
I think you should get all those things. But first off, you got to get a restraining order. That's the most important.
Holy cow.
Because she's a little crazy.
I'm just so done. I feel defeated. I didn't even want to update. I haven't had the will to do much of anything. I have even called out of work for multiple days in a row. I just lay around the house thinking of what I could have done differently. Was there a better ending for everyone? We have some comments.
No, I don't think there was anything you could do differently. She was lying.
Yeah.
Had a full mental breakdown.
I think the only different thing you could have done is had dogs.
Yeah, I guess so. But even then, she would have, they would have
Yep.
done something in her fan fiction. She would have crashed out.
They would have barked and told her to write better one.
Yeah.
Comments from OP. I've officially moved as of a few days ago. I'm currently paying rent at 2 places because the place I live at, I had to sign a contract that if I were to leave before the lease ended, that I needed to continue to pay rent until the assigned date. It's expensive, but I'm safe. I already handed the keys over to the complex, and they confirmed with me that as of a few days ago, I'm no longer responsible for the state of the apartment. So luckily, if she damages anything or breaks in from this point forward, I won't be held accountable financially. We have an update 1.5 months later.
Ooh, I hope it just gets better.
Yeah.
I hope everything's going much better for you.
Yeah.
That's my desire for you.
So, update 1.5 months later. It's been a while. I'm doing better for anyone curious. My cats and I have moved into a new place, and only my side of the family knows where I live. I've documented everything, and I finally feel safe.
Yay.
She contacted my family by showing up at their home and threatening to sue me and fight a legal battle for ownership over my cats unless they told her where I moved to. Trying to get the fanfic cat.
Yeah, she's like, I need you. It's too good. I need that cat.
Yes, she threatened to fight for custody of my cats that she mistreated. I have no idea why. My family didn't fold because she basically threatened them with an easy win for me. Quite a few people that once sided with her are now apologizing to me after seeing how she's been acting. I had to quit my job because she kept causing trouble for the company, and they gave me the option to either quit on my own terms or be fired. I have a new and better job that no one else knows about.
Good.
A lot of friends and family are here to support me and get nervous when I get anonymous calls, but I overall feel much happier now. I even have someone interested in me, but honestly, I still need time before I consider anything of the sort.
Yeah, no need to rush.
Every time I see someone get out of a relationship and be like, but there's someone already talking to me, I'm like, pumped up brakes.
Pumped to brakes.
Do some you time.
Date yourself.
I mean, I get it.
Unless you don't need that.
I don't even see a scenario where that could happen.
What do you need?
No, I'm fine. I took time. But some people don't need time.
I don't see like how you can get out of a relationship and then be with someone else. That makes no sense.
I think sometimes it works for some people.
Like who? Who? Stop looking at me. Who?
Never mind.
I don't want to drag someone else through into stalking drama. Thank you to those who asked for an update and who have supported me. I'm sure this will be my last update unless something else wacky happens. Peace. And we have another update.
And there you go.
Update number 5. I've married one of my cats.
Yeah, I hope it just gets better and better for you.
Oh, I guess it works for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Just
it works. for
Dump
some
someone
people.
and get directly into
Yeah,
another
for some
relationship.
people, the best way to get over somebody is to get on top of somebody.
Okay. No. Not that way.
Yeah?
No. It's not to get over someone if you're over that person.
I just need one real life
Okay,
example,
get under somebody.
and then I could maybe see this point of view.
I guess we'll be looking.
Update 5, 4 months later. I didn't plan on ever updating again, nor ever looking at this account again. That being said, a bunch of people on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter seemingly read my posts to their audiences recently. So, out of nowhere, emails were flooded with notifications from this account.
Thanks. I mean, actually, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Not really what I wanted to deal with, being reminded of the messy events I went through, but it is what it is. An update is neither happy nor sad. Honestly, nobody really won here. My cats were hurt and frightened by all of this, having been kicked at, moving from place to place, losing someone that they, for a long time, considered their mother. They haven't been as playful as they used to be. And the youngest one had been urinating all around the house. The vet said it's a behavioral thing due to what happened. My ex-wife has been homeless, couch surfing wherever she can. All I know is from a mutual friend. She got into a substance usage from someone who let her stay at her place. And I don't even need to explain how that negatively impacted her, considering she clearly already had issues. Oh,
I mean, clearly she's going through something and there's not much that you can do.
I don't know much else. Other than she never got mentally helped because she refused it when offered. She also apparently uses an altered telling of the events as a way of gaining sympathy from people. I myself have a decent newer job after I had to quit my old one because of her. I lost all of those amazing benefits and great pay. Luckily, I have a new girlfriend.
Nice.
Man.
Moving on.
Too quick, Sophia?
I don't know, how long was it?
They were together for 10 years.
But how long?
I would say about 6 months later.
10 years. It ends badly. And new girlfriend.
And they're divorced.
If it's 6 months.
After they've been separated, not divorced, separated.
It's not crazy soon. But
If it's 6 months, then there have been other issues before that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the thing. I think oftentimes when you sometimes have the more successful ones, it's usually like relationship hasn't been working out for a minute and
Yeah.
you're already kind of emotionally checked out. And then you break up and it's like, I'm already like halfway over this person.
We've been debating on dating for a while, and a few weeks back we decided to try it. We're having fun for the most part, but I still have bouts of anxiety and trust issues after everything that happened.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, usually wouldn't recommend jumping into it.
Yeah.
But be careful.
I would recommend you going to your favorite podcast platform, searching up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple for more stories just like this. We support our cats and we have cat stories.
It's true.
Anything else? I mean, he's got a girlfriend, he's got a new job.
I think just keep having conversations with your girlfriend about where you're at mentally, because if you're not completely honest about all of those anxieties and stuff that you're thinking, it's not going to go well. Because this is pretty soon after a 10-year relationship that did not end well. And so you got to be really on top of it.
I wouldn't have moved on this quick.
Yeah.
He says, when she first told me she saw my cat urinating on the carpet, I almost had a panic attack and started questioning her.
You're like, what do you have to say about my cats?
I've been writing any fan fiction recently.
He just starts quizzing her.
After I calmed down, I felt terrible. I've been going to therapy, and I've recently started meds for mental health issues likely caused by all of this. So hopefully I'll be back to normal some point soon. As you can see, nobody won. Everyone is struggling in some way. It sucks, but it is what it is, I guess. I really don't want to focus on this much further. I'm going to keep notifications on for maybe like a day or so. Then I'm turning them off and probably never coming back here again. I'm sorry if this update isn't what you hoped for, but it is what it is. And we do have some cat tags.
Cat tax.
Show us the picture of the cat.
Oh, check it out. Go to my thing. Go to the 8.
Oh,
barely
they're so
see it.
cute. But that's the end of that story.
My wife has been taking tennis lessons. Should I be worried about her coach?
I don't know. How good at tennis is he?
I, 39 male, went to bed on Wednesday night and said goodnight to my wife, 40 female, who was on the sofa finishing up some work. Our 2 kids, 6 female and 4 male, were already asleep. I'm a high school teacher with a busy day ahead, and she's an entrepreneur. By the way, this comes from Big Monk 2322. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, at 2:30 a.m., I noticed she wasn't in bed. I searched our apartment, nothing. The kids were still asleep. There was a text on my phone from 10:53 p.m. Gone for food, be back soon. I knew her work call had gone badly that evening. An important deal fell through. Where we live, there's a culture of night markets and late food, which she enjoys. I checked to find my iPhone and saw she was at a restaurant. I suspected she was having some beers, drowning her losses. Pretty late, but I let it slide. Give her some space. I woke again at 5:30 a.m. She still wasn't home. Her location had changed to a police station.
Dang.
I called her, no answer. My best guess, wasted driving. She must feel like a piece of crap. I imagine tears and vomit, a 5-year driving ban. I called in sick to work, got the kids out of bed, took them to their different schools by taxi, as she'd taken our car, then caught another to the police station. It was 8:30 in the morning. Now I was imagining the worst.
Wait, he saw that she was in the police station?
Yeah, and he went to bed.
That's crazy. That's wild.
Like, no confirmation, nothing.
That she didn't even call to be like, I'm in the police station. He just tracked her location there and was like, okay.
I'm sorry. If I see that my partner is in the police station and they don't pick up, I'm going to the police station. That's crazy.
Now I was imagining the worst, a head-on crash. She's in hospital or worse. And the police picked up her car. I saw her car parked out front. The police station was actually set back from the road, and the car was just in a public lot nearby with her phone inside. The engine was running. I could see a disheveled guy sleeping in the front seat, scared poopless about my wife's whereabouts. I banged on the window.
You obviously weren't that scared. You weren't that
Oh,
scared. It's been like hours.
I guess maybe he just never drove past where the police station was, but the fact that he was like, and like the police station was like weirdly set back. Did you
down
not know
the
this
road?
stuff?
I don't know, man. Who are you?
He wound it down, and she was in the back, covered in vomit, absolutely hammered. I gave the guy a hard time. Who is he? What is he doing with my wife? He looked like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar, stammered something about knowing her from the tennis club, and wandered off into the morning sun. She kept apologizing about getting wasted, making me miss work, and forgetting the kids. I drove her home. I had my suspicions about this tennis coach. He's a single 21-year-old guy. I'd seen her texting a lot. I encourage her hobbies. The business weighs on her heavily, and this year she's been doing weight loss and sports. It's her main social outlet where we live, but every husband has, in the back of his mind, the stereotype of the sports coach trying to get close to his wife.
Truthfully, like, yeah, she totally could have cheated. I'd be way more worried that a random guy was in the car with my wife while she was in a very vulnerable state.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, that would be my
Yeah.
first concern.
I'd
My
be
first
like,
concern is that she's at the police station in the middle of the morning or whatever.
Well, technically, yeah, that the police station, but
yeah,
again,
they weren't actually in the police station,
Oh,
but
but
that
yeah.
you
My-
think
yeah,
she
that's my
is.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that
yeah,
you
fair,
think
fair.
she's there. I'd be going there. I'd be calling someone saying I need you to watch the kids, or even I don't know. I'd probably be putting the kids in the car and going.
If
I couldn't
no
find
one
anyone,
can come
yeah.
to watch them,
I'm going and getting the- yeah.
someone. I'm running to the neighbor's
Yeah,
house and
I'm
I'm
doing
going.
anything.
Hey, I know you like. I'm assuming you know your
I
neighbors.
just don't understand.
Just
OP's
sit
like
in my house. They're
yeah.
asleep.
Yeah, and then the first thing he's thinking, I was like, oh, did she cheat on? I don't know.
She assured me nothing happened, and she doesn't see him like that. He's more like a kid brother. I genuinely believed she believed that. Besides, she was unconscious and covered in vomit. Not exactly hot stuff.
What?
Why aren't you worried?
OP's very just like
She's like in the back seat of a car with
her
another
car,
guy,
yeah.
her own car.
engine's running, by the way.
Engine's running, covered in vomit, unconscious. Why aren't you like worried?
I asked how she got so hammered. She said she went to dinner at a restaurant by herself, a solo dinner. He must have come by to join her since he lives close by. She had forgotten her phone, so I went to get it from the vomit-riddled car,
Ew.
and I took a peek. She had screenshots of their texts alongside the actual messages in the app, showing she'd been deleting messages from him. I could see he'd invited her out for dinner. She spilled the beans on what actually happened. She apologized for hiding things and lying. The pressure of running the business makes her feel lonely and abandoned, and she can't talk to me about it. For her, this was the crux of the issue we should focus on. We used to run the business together, but I think couples shouldn't work together.
Yeah, Carly.
Hey, Angie, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, couples definitely should never work together ever. It's a
Ever.
bad idea, and they're all gonna break up immediately.
No.
Right, Carly? Right, Keon?
Right.
I thought it was safe because we don't
Yeah.
work together.
Sophia says Tintin just cleans the villas
Yeah,
earlier. He missed her. I can't
Yeah.
steal credit. She made the joke.
Thanks.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Roll away.
It's a marriage unaliver. So I became a teacher instead at a school where our kids now get free places. Her coach is a fun friend and a sympathetic ear she can unload on. She knows I'm suspicious of him, which is why she hid it from me and deleted messages. She also secretly saw him one other time a week prior on a research trip to check a new food and beverage installation in town. I think she likes the attention, but he wants to bang. She agreed it was shady and needed to stop. She apologized, but wanted to quickly get to the but all about how she feels abandoned and I'm not supporting her enough with the business. Her points were fair. She suggested never meeting him alone. I'm welcome to come, but mentioned she'd spent $2,000 on advanced lesson payments with the tennis club and would be embarrassed to switch coaches.
Jesus.
Girl, I think you need to swallow your embarrassment here. Are you kidding?
She's lying. She's
I know.
lying.
I molded over and disagreed. Best to nip this in the bud and cut him out completely. I didn't make it an ultimatum, but said, I think this guy has to go. No lessons, no messaging. This was a nascent emotional affair. Boundaries had been crossed. I didn't want to be suspicious, nervous, or policing her with him around. Get rid of him and we move on. She was really pissed. Controlling, can't have her own friends, etc. I told her to reach out to her friends and see what they think. I couldn't imagine anyone would think it's reasonable to keep this guy around. And we do have an update.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, what you feeling?
I honestly think your relationship is like so bad right now. But you have kids, so I feel like you need to immediately go to therapy. Couples therapy.
Immediate therapy.
Because it seems like you just are like so oblivious to everything going on here.
Right.
Your reaction to her, like to her being in the car, thinking she was at the police station, bad. Your reaction to finding her, bad. Your reaction now when she's like clearly having an affair, or at least emotional, with this guy, bad. We need all of our emotions need to be at a 10. They're at a 5 right now. We need like warning signals going off, sirens.
We're so calm.
Yeah, we're way too calm about everything. Therapy now.
Therapy.
That's my thought.
Update. Wife did have an affair with the tennis coach. Things seemed to be going well. I showed her some Reddit comments. We read Not Just Friends together. She thought they were between stages 2 and 3, if you've read it. She deleted him and changed coaches. Our marriage and family had been good. I encouraged her to go on trips to places, half leisure and half work, to decompress. We're on holiday now, and she asked me to update her WhatsApp. She's rubbish at tech. I saw TikTok open in the background with unread messages, and my curiosity got the better of me. There were messages from that day between the two of them. Banal stuff like holiday pics. That night, I went through her phone while she snored. I checked his social media, I don't have him on mine, and saw a picture of him at an iconic lake my wife had visited on one of her trips. My heart sank. There was no date, but rocks, plants, and electrical cables in his photo matched exactly one from my wife's own photos from her trip. She had taken that picture for him. I wrote her a letter saying I knew about her tennis coach. I would step aside and she could be with him. I asked for a 30-day separation to let everyone's heads cool off. She had to leave the holiday for work travel anyway, so it worked out. She did what you'd expect, silently stared at the paper for 3 minutes. It was just some texts.
Come on. Liar. Liar. You're done. Take your chair and go.
Yeah. I told her I knew more and she needed to come clean. Over the next 24 hours, I was treated to trickle truth par excellence through no Darvo. This time, I didn't reveal how much I knew or how I knew it, so it all had to come out. Definitely trust your gut. Do look through your partner's phone in the middle of the night. Don't reveal how much you know or how you know if you want to get the truth.
What? This
Okay.
is terrible advice.
That's bad advice, buddy.
You're never go to this guy for advice or trusting your gut.
This
His
guy
gut
just
is
left his wife in a police station supposedly until 8:30 in the morning.
yeah. This man's gut is as trustworthy as like gas station sushi.
Yeah. As she tells it, she really did just have dinner with him and got too wasted at Christmas. She cut him out, but in May, her new tennis coach was sick and the boss paired them back up. She didn't say no. They had a few dates and kissed. She was bored on her trip to the lake and he semi-invited himself. They slept together that night. She paid for a plane ticket for him to see her on another trip for spicy sleep. She said it's not about him. He's just a kid that listens to her problems and is well put together. It's all on her. She's desperate for reconciliation and is making some of the right noises. Therapy for her and a hall pass for me are my table stakes to begin that conversation.
You suck. She sucks, to be clear, but
She
you
sucks
suck.
way more for cheating, but the fact
You're-
that you need a hall pass
You
to
said
get back with her,
hall pass.
that's crazy.
Just divorce her.
Divorce and move on. She sucks. We have a good marriage and family life otherwise outside of
False.
this.
False.
We have 2 really happy young kids, and she's a great mother. She isn't a fantastic or evil person. She's just sort of normal. Fallible, lovable, but deeply selfish and unable to take responsibility for her actions. Can therapy fix that? For now, we're separated and everything sucks, and the kids don't know what's going on. By the way, I know what's going on. It's that you guys can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and search OK Storytime. A little bit more. Any final thoughts?
No, just that you need to divorce. This relationship cannot succeed, at least the way that it's going.
Yeah, I think
You
she
guys
really
are
just
too
wants to be
cavalier
with
about
him.
your relationship,
Yeah.
and on both ends too.
I felt an incredible wave of warm satisfaction when it all came out. I'm not crazy. I was right. She had gaslit me for the better part of a year with this guy. She sort of snapped at me about, "You're right, you win," when I was getting her to admit the truth. But then the realization that I may have wasted 13 years of my life with this person and my children's life have been destroyed because of her selfishness quickly put that in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like, she clearly, to be clear, totally sucks that
She
he got
sucks.
cheated on. His gut might need to be checked, but like, she is the
She's a
a-hole here, and it really
poo-poo.
sucks that he has to, go through this and uproot this, life
I
that they
feel
had
bad for
together.
him. My wife did have an affair with her tennis coach, and my family is destroyed. I am a broken man, and that is the end of that story.
I mean, good luck, OP.
Good
go,
luck.
Definitely you go to therapy
Yes.
because you need it.
Yes,
and then I
yes.
guess like probably family counseling so you can work through this divorce.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck, OP. Get that gut checked out. I asked my wife about her old affair, and she just said, "Why now?"
Bringing up the past.
I'm not sure what I should do. My wife and I had an insanely perfect marriage for the last 10 years, but the first few years were pretty rough. We met at work waiting tables back in 2008, dated for a couple of years, and got married in September 2012. By the way, this comes from Jaded Raspberry 3873, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
Our marriage started out rocky. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week to try and give her the life she deserved. She has the type of personality where she's friends with everyone. She had a weird relationship with our boss before we started dating. His wife wanted an open marriage so she could sleep around. He didn't want it, but inevitably had to find somebody to sleep with to make it seem fair. That person was my wife. They slept together a dozen or so times before we started dating. She told me about this before the first time we slept together. She said there was no emotional connection, and that he was just a friend she slept with because she felt bad about his marriage. She continued to be friends with him with nothing physical happening. I had found a career that was hopefully going to bring us a great future, and she continued waiting tables while finishing school. As the years went on, I got increasingly uncomfortable with her talking to him. I expressed my concern, and she told me he was just a friend and that I couldn't decide who her friends were. It bothered me, but I trusted her. We got married in September 2012 and invited all of our coworkers, including him, to our wedding. Fast forward to July 4th, 2013, she handed me her phone for something, and I looked down and saw text messages from him that said, "I wish I could bring you breakfast in bed. I wish you were here." I said, "Well, I can't believe I've been this stupid. We didn't even make it a full year." She swore up and down that nothing happened, that there were only inappropriate texts, and that was it.
Well, now that's something that happened.
That always gets me when people are like, no, nothing happened. It's like, I specifically told you I was uncomfortable with this.
Yeah.
Specifically asked you about this. You lied to me. That is a betrayal of trust. You were emotionally cheating. It
Right.
doesn't matter if nothing physical happened. We were constantly arguing, and I was drinking at the time, so there was definitely friction. I chose to believe her as long as she found a new job and cut ties. She did, for the most part. Fast forward a couple more years. We ended up having our first daughter and then 2 more within the next 3 years. Life was stressful with 3 kids under 3 and me working crazy hours to provide, but we were great. Our lives continued to become more and more amazing over the years. I ended up buying the business I work for and expanding it. Wow. My work schedule became minimal. Our kids were all in school full time, so we would spend our days together doing whatever we wanted. We took family vacations several times a year. Nice house, her dream car, my dream car. It was what we had worked toward, and we were finally enjoying the spoils. Over the last 12 years, every once in a while, the thought would pop into my head that maybe she didn't tell me the truth. I was always able to push it down because I chose to believe her. Then one day, 6 months ago, she said something while talking to her friend on the phone about work. Well, he's oblivious. In reference to me. Could mean a lot of different things.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's not anything to be like crazy concerned
Yeah,
about.
it could be like she wanted you to buy her flowers.
Right.
He's oblivious about buying me
Yeah.
flowers. Something about it made me spend the next 5 months digging
5
through old
months?
phones, laptops, tablets, and purses to try and find something that would confirm my worst fears. I didn't find much other than a couple of old texts that led me to ask the question. When I asked her on December 23rd this past year, she immediately started crying and said, "Why now?" She admitted to sleeping with him twice. I believe that to be true based on the thousands of texts and the timeline I built over 5 months. She said she was lonely and that I was mean to her back then. He was nice to her at the time, and she drove to his house and slept with him. She said all the usual things. It was terrible. She didn't like it. He was small, but she went back one more time a week later. She says she doesn't know why she went back. She swears there was never an emotional connection. The spicy sleep was terrible, and it really had nothing to do with him. It could have been anybody at the time. She was just so alone. She swore on our children's lives that it was only twice and never happened before or after. About 6 years ago, he sent her an email checking in to see how she was doing. She showed it to me and sent him a mean email back, telling him to never contact her again, that he almost ruined the best thing that happened to her. I'm sorry, is she saying that she sent him a mean email right now?
Huh?
So he sent something 6 years ago?
And she just responded?
Or is she saying that she sent a mean email 6 years ago? Because if she sent the mean email 6 years ago, that's fine, I guess. I mean, still should have, not fine, but, still should have showed OP and all that. But if she sent it right now, that's honestly,
It's
worse.
weird. It's like
'Cause you could've just
reopening
let
the
it, yeah.
connection.
We've been on a roller coaster of fighting, intimacy, sadness, and me leaving for a couple of nights. It's not only that she cheated, it's that she lied for 12 years. The amazing life we've built was founded on a lie. She's been very open and willing to do whatever it takes to prove to me how sorry she is, and that there was nothing else that ever happened. I don't know what to do. I can't sleep. I'm having panic attacks. We have 3 young, beautiful daughters and a business we share. Any advice is appreciated. And there was a comment. You don't know at all. She wasn't lonely. He wasn't small. It was the best spicy sleep she's ever had. She settled for you because he wouldn't leave his wife. She is a confirmed serial liar.
What was that comment?
Ouch, jeez. My next door neighbor went through the same thing. He found out she cheated on him with a coworker while they were engaged, 17 years later, he found a letter she had written to him but didn't send. Their affair lasted 3 weeks, according to the letter. He confronted her and she confirmed it, telling him it was over 17 years ago and should not matter. He started thinking about the things that had happened in the past, such as her suddenly going on a girls' trip with her friends, going on work trips and staying in the city to sightsee for 3 to 4 days, and so on. He wanted to stay with her, but found that he was triggered when she went to the grocery store but came back later than normal, so he divorced her. He has been extremely happy since the divorce and is back to his old self. 2 years after their divorce, he learned that 2 of his 3 children were not biologically his. Can you move past all of those years of deception, lies, and now wondering how many times she may have slept with another man behind your back? She's obviously a great liar and a master manipulator. Her saying, "Why now?" is so telling and problematic. If she had been honest, you will never know the truth. There is an update, folks, but any thoughts?
Wow. Well, that commenter, that was crazy.
Yeah, well.
I feel as though we take that with a grain of salt because yes, it's good information to have, but
Sure.
that may spiral you well beyond what actually
just
happened.
focus on your own relationship.
Yeah.
I've decided I want to try and work on our marriage as long as she's willing to put in the same effort. She's agreed to write out a timeline of the affair in detail. She's agreed to go to individual therapy, and then after a couple of months of sessions, couples therapy. She agreed to a polygraph, but after reading more about them, I'm not sure I'll go through with it. I might just pretend we're going and see if she changes her story before we get there. I am still not okay, and I'm in individual therapy as well. My oldest kid was having panic attacks the last month or so. She knew what was going on, and I've left the house a couple of times to stay at hotels. I told her it was for work, but she's a smart kid. It took a lot of back and forth, me changing my mind almost every day. But I do believe what we had is worth at least trying to save. I don't know if I'm someone who will get past it, and only time will tell. It's time for you guys to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm glad you guys are in therapy.
Yeah.
I hope that it does what it can, and I hope that, your kids are all right.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. It's going to be so hard. So
That's
hard.
rough.
And you might, OP, don't get into the mindset that, you get halfway through the therapy and then you're like, it's not working, but I've spent all this money, I've done all this time, I can't quit now. It's like, you know what? You always can go back on that decision.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's not working, you can never trust her the same way you did before, then that's also an option. Or it might work and you can stay together, but you don't have to, make up your mind right now.
Agreed.
Your child's sudden panic attacks show the ongoing malevolence of your wife's lying all this time. As a father, I would be beyond livid and would have a hard time looking at my wife without feeling some color of contempt, probably forever. I hope you are far more benevolent with your relationship with your wife. Do you realize that you cannot save the past once you know that you were unaware of a layer of illusion? That's truly what your wife was referring to with her friend about you being oblivious. She's been disrespecting you in plain sight. For these 12 years, a crime of the heart. The cliche lies you can live with was your wife's operating policy, but her letting out the truth had consequences. Painful ones at that, which are still unfolding. You can attempt to heal and reinvent your relationship, but the work is not easy, so I've been told. I think your oldest mental health is the key focus here. Good luck. OP says, my child's sudden panic attacks are from me yelling at their mother for the first time ever in front of them. It was extreme, and she heard me say, "You effed your boss?" It was a lot of conversations and apologies to her, but if someone is arguing at school, she goes into a panic attack. While my wife cheating is what caused me yelling, it doesn't excuse me doing that in front of her. In all of this, that's the worst thing I could have done. But that is the end of that story, folks. My husband decided to leave me for his coworker in the blink of an eye. You blinked and he was gone.
Blinked and disappeared.
2 weeks ago, my husband, male 33, 7 years married, 11 years together, told me, female 33, he was having an affair with a coworker and that he decided to leave the marriage to be with her.
Boo!
Dang. She started at his company 4 months ago. The physical aspect began a month ago, and she lives in a different city, so their in-person time was only a few hours. By the way, this comes from Basic Organization 95. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I asked if he was unhappy in the marriage and whether he wanted couples counseling, but he wasn't interested. He claimed he was happy in the marriage, but his connection to the affair partner was so strong and far beyond anything he ever felt with me, so he knew he could be happier with her. He left that night, called all of her friends and his family to break the news that he'd met someone new, then flew to be with her the next day. He also decided to move to her city, which has been hurtful for our friends and especially his parents, who just moved across the country to be close to him only 3 months ago. Wow. I've been really struggling with two things: acceptance and trying to make sense of what happened, and fear for my future. We were very happy together. We had very little conflict to work through, helped each other grow, supported each other's dreams, and mostly just enjoyed chatting and spending time together. He admits this, and our friends and family validated the same. I can't understand why he would throw all of this away for someone he just met. I've read all kinds of resources on affairs, and it seems like he's in the affair fog stage now. But that doesn't explain why he made the initial choices to get closer to this person. I don't know much about the affair partner, other than she has an aggressive personality, so I suspect she pursued him and he just gave into it without much thought. There was a feeling of almost midlife crisis cropping up, time speeding up, a feeling of sameness. Is this all there is to life? And a fear of taking the next life stage to have children. We were both on the same page with these issues, and I had hoped we could work through it together instead of him jumping ship to start over with someone new. Adding to the confusion, he's been wavering on his story. Initially, it was all about the affair partner and how strong a connection they had. Just this week, he said he read The State of Affairs, and really, it wasn't about the affair partner and has nothing to do with my failings, but rather that he was tempted by this idea of a new version of himself that had a more fulfilling social life and independence, and that mortality fears cropped up due to being on the precipice of having children. He says he will never forgive himself and doesn't expect me to. It seems to me he feels guilty for doing a bad thing, but doesn't feel true remorse because he continues to show very little empathy for the pain he is putting me and his friends and family through, and is still pursuing the relationship with the affair partner. For example, in this same email, he suggested terms to split our assets and offered to get the divorce papers started if I agreed. We own a house together, and I am in no way ready to make decisions on what will be best for myself regarding my living situation 2 weeks after this kind of trauma. I don't think he understands the impact he had. I don't want to believe he's done this. Every night I have confusing nightmares, and when I wake up, I feel my reality is even worse. I am desperately trying to make sense of what happened because I feel so unsafe with the thought that I so horribly misjudged someone I knew for a decade, and that happy relationships can fall apart without warning. It feels so unacceptable, and I feel like if I can't figure this out, I don't know how I can move on or have a chance at happiness with a new partner. I am very afraid for what my future holds. I am nearly 34, and in the best case scenario, I may be able to start dating again in 1 to 2 years if I heal from this trauma. It doesn't seem like my chances are very good, though, to find another life partner and have the typical family and kids life I thought I would have. You're only 33. I mean, obviously that feels later, but, there are tons of people who have kids and stuff, late 30s, early 40s. It does change it changes
34 is so young.
some things about birth and raising kids and stuff, and your chances of having kids, but it's still possible.
Yeah. Can you
And also
freeze
there are
your
other
eggs or
options. Yeah,
something?
there are tons of other options. 33 is still young. I might be able to accept not having children, but the idea of not finding a life partner is really painful. You are absolutely gonna find it. You
That's
are
what I
33.
say. She's like, I'm 33. I can't find another relationship. Girl.
My aunt married her husband a couple years ago, and she's in her 70s.
Yeah.
She's in her 70s.
My grandma married her husband
Yeah.
in her 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe
people-
mid-70s. No,
you know,
80s.
Yeah.
Timeline, yeah.
People find their partners when they find them. There's no time limit. I worry I won't be able to find a partner because I don't know how I can trust or feel secure in a relationship again. I do have a fulfilling life with a lot of time spent on both hobbies and work, but without a partner there sharing in my day-to-day and going through life together, It's hard to imagine I'll find much meaning in life. You will. This is just the breakup talking.
We don't
It's just because
need-
it just happened.
Yeah, we don't need this man.
No. I have good relationships with friends and family, but the truth is, they have their own separate lives to live, and it's just not the same as having a partner. I already feel incredibly lonely as I'm adjusting to normal life, and friends and family haven't been checking in with me as often. Things are hitting me really hard these past few days because I got the vid and haven't been able to work or participate in my hobby, so it's been really hard to handle my obsessive thoughts and emotions. If anybody has insight or can help me feel even a sliver of hope, I would really welcome your support. And there is an update. I think you are worrying about this too much, which is understandable because you just got broken up with.
It's so fresh.
It's fresh. I don't think you need to worry about it, but also I understand why you are.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you to just get over it because this is how everyone feels when they get broken up with or cheated on.
Yeah.
It hurts so much.
But you are, like we said, you're so young.
Yeah.
It's just the breakup talking. You'll be good.
Yeah. You learn to, get used to it. And then you find someone when you're ready for a new relationship, which will happen.
And don't rush.
Don't rush.
Don't rush. Just, you know it.
Yeah.
You it's a life lesson, and
Yeah,
just go at your pace and when you feel comfortable.
exactly. But there is an update. A few months later, I froze my eggs successfully. See, we're fine. Everything's good. The doctors tell me I have a high probability of being able to use them to have a child someday if I choose. This company approves IVF with the eggs until age 55. You're fine. I am beyond relieved having the time pressure off of me so I can make the right decisions at the right time for the right reasons. It gives me more hope for my future possibilities. The divorce was final in February. I negotiated a fair settlement without a lawyer. It was not without stress and underhanded attempts by him to give me much less, but he eventually became reasonable, mainly because he was extremely motivated to get it done quickly and perhaps due to some guilt. I decided to keep the house for now, mainly to avoid disrupting yet another aspect of my life while I try to heal. Bonus fun fact, my greenfield project at work was canceled because moves from a competing company forced us to reprioritize. I was reorganized onto the new team the same day my divorce was final. Guess who works for that competing company and played a critical role in these moves? I'm not sure if the universe is kicking me while I'm down or signaling a turning point for better things. Time will tell, though I do like my new team much better.
It's signaling better things.
Yeah.
He's getting you out of there, farther away from him.
Exactly. I have yet to get a heartfelt apology or any sign of remorse from him. On the day the divorce was final, I passed along some resources encouraging him to heal himself so he doesn't repeat the pattern. He was seemingly receptive, but who knows? He is still with the affair partner. They are both still working together, likely keeping it a secret since he is in a role that can influence her career. Yikes, that's not gonna last. Just take comfort in the fact that that's not gonna last,
It's
OP.
not gonna last.
You're A-okay, girl. I have mostly avoided mutual friends who decided not to take a hard stance against his behavior. I initially kept in touch because I didn't want to lose companionship at such a vulnerable time, and they were kind and supportive. However, they chose to distance themselves for him and downgrade to casual acquaintances with the excuse that since he had moved away, it wouldn't be an issue. While supportive to me, I ultimately decided I was not comfortable being with friends who did not have the integrity to draw a hard stance against abuse. His relationship with his family is strained. I reached out to his mom a few months later, and she was so devastated and depressed that I texted her periodically to help her through it because I understood she was suffering from his actions too. In spite of that, she hosted him and the affair partner at her home just 4 months after he left me. I get why you would be upset, but also I understand that desire to have a relationship with her son.
Yeah.
That's tricky. I found out when she accidentally posted a photo to an old shared album. I cut ties with her at that point, which that's fair for you. While I expected her to reconcile with her son, she had many choices that didn't go so far as bringing the other woman into her home so soon. Like her son, she feels guilty but doesn't have the strength of character to do what's right. I don't regret supporting her, but it felt like another betrayal. I'm taking things day by day and trying to live a good life. These days, I have far more good days than bad. I take really good care of myself physically and emotionally. Outside of work and existing hobbies, I have spent intentional time trying to introspect, heal, and strengthen connections with friends and family. I went on a few great vacations and have more planned. I'm still not feeling quite ready for romantic connections. I'm not sure what that looks like for me yet. The two most difficult aspects have been trying to figure out the why and grieving the losses. The partner, the future I imagined, my worldview on love and marriage, and many other things. I, our friends, and family did not realize he was capable of this because he himself did not realize it. My conclusion is that people are complex, and it's difficult enough to know ourselves, let alone fully know another person. I wanted to understand why, so I could protect myself in the future, but the real answer was accepting that control in this way is only an illusion. I found solace in promising myself that I will pay attention to what is or isn't acceptable to me and protect myself and handle whatever happens. It's been some time and the rose-colored glasses are off, but I still think I would be very fortunate to find a future relationship with as much love and happiness as my first marriage. It's just that love alone is not enough to sustain a long-term relationship, and that was a hard pill to swallow. By the way, an easy pill to swallow is the fact that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
No, I think I still stand by where we were at the beginning. Like, this is so fresh and so new.
Yeah.
You'll be fine in a little bit, I
Yeah.
think. Especially, like, you said you have hobbies and, like, other
Yeah.
things that you're really committed to doing.
Just focus
can-
on those.
Yeah, make new friends with your new team who's
Mhm.
cooler. Like, things will be okay. Just give
Yeah.
it some time. It's so fresh.
Yeah.
And don't pay attention to your ex or
X off. Cut that
new
whole side
girl
off.
or
We don't need to know what
mom.
they're up to.
We don't care.
Yeah.
Because we're on to bigger, better things.
There's so many bigger, better things.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit left. I still struggle with wanting justice, fairness, and karma. On the surface, it looks like he didn't have any real consequences and is living the life he wants. On a human truth level, I don't really believe someone can be happy in a relationship that started that way. You're right. Or living with the knowledge you're the kind of person to harm others like that. But who knows? I'm trying hard to let this one go, but it's a tough one. And that is the end of that story, folks.
Whew.
Yeah, I agree, OP. Maybe you cheat on someone and then you realize that you've made a mistake. You find happiness down the line. But when you stay in that relationship with that affair partner, it's just always tainted.
Yeah. My wife cheated on me in our future child's bedroom.
Ew!
It's disgusting.
Oh my God.
A little background. My wife, 28 female, and I, 28 male, have been together for 13 years. We started dating when we were roughly 16, never broke up, and got married 3 years ago. We had the kind of relationship that others were jealous of, and everyone was always expecting us to get married. I'm Carly,
I'm Angie.
I'm Riley.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, over the past year and a half, things started changing between us. Some issues came up with her family, and she became more and more distant, both emotionally and physically. She started being protective of her phone and grew closer with a male coworker.
The sign.
No. Long story short, I snooped on her phone because I had a feeling something was going on and found incriminating texts confirming she was having an affair. When I confronted her in early September, she owned up to it, saying it had been going on for a year.
Oh, that's
No.
terrible.
They had been having an affair in our home, in the bedroom that would eventually be our future child's room.
Oh my, that is
No.
like a twist of the knife.
That's so extra disgusting.
yeah.
She apologized, saying it would never happen again. I told her that in order for us to move on, I needed her to have no contact with the person she cheated on me with. 2 months later, they were still talking occasionally. with her saying it was unfair of me to ask her not to talk to someone she considered a close friend. I honestly didn't know what to do. I was trying to see if I could move on, but I felt like I could never trust her again. Her choosing to stay in touch with him showed me she was choosing their relationship over ours. She also told me not to tell any of our friends what was going on, so I didn't even have someone to talk to. We have a comment. But do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like it just saying like, oh, it's not gonna happen again. Cause okay, that's first of all not enough of an apology. That's like I'm not gonna just take that. And then second of all, like, okay, well, if you want me to move on, you're gonna have to like earn my trust back.
Yeah.
And it's like in a normal friendship thing, like, yeah, you can't dictate who's talks to who in a relationship, but if you already had an affair for a year with someone, like, yeah, I feel like the respectful thing to do at the very least is to not talk to them anymore.
Yeah. She's not going to change because she is not seeing any consequences at all. Tell your friends and family, especially because she doesn't want you to. You need support, and she is preventing you from having it after she cheated. She gets no say in who you can and cannot tell. You need to serve her divorce papers, and you can stop the process after if she shows true remorse and starts respecting you. The reason she should give up the friendship is because the man that was having spicy sleep with her is not her friend, and she obviously has no boundaries, since she was effing him in your own house.
Yeah, dude.
I would honestly advise to break up with her because she is not remorseful and she cheated and continues to stomp on you after you found out. But if you truly love her, you need to scare the crap out of her and make her realize that her husband is willing to leave. And we have an update.
Oh boy.
Just dive right in.
Let's dive right in. I think those comments were spot on.
Update. After posting a little over a month ago and reading all of the advices, I called my lawyer, told my parents and some close friends what was going on, and told my wife that I wanted a divorce. She begged and pleaded, promising to make things better and cut off contact with the affair partner. We spent all weekend together with her, promising things and doing all the right things. I didn't fully believe her, but I was willing to give her one more chance to try to save what I thought we had. Things were fine for about a month. We were more or less just coexisting, but she was on her phone less and being more attentive. 2 weekends ago, she handed me her phone to show me something, and I suspiciously swiped up on her open apps. There she was, talking to her affair partner on a messaging spot.
Dude. Like, I just don't understand how she can think that she can just do this, say I'm sorry, and then they could just move on so easily. It's like, that's not how it works.
She's just gonna get sneakier and hiding it. She's
Yeah.
going to other places and just doing it there. I flipped out, and she promised he just messaged her, and she told him she couldn't talk. This was blatantly false. I read their conversation, and they were discussing what they were each doing that night. I was again duped, lied to, and deceived. She told me she would finally block him, but wanted to say goodbye because he was a friend. I said it was inexcusable and that she had to cut off contact and block him right then, which she said she would. 2 days later, I asked if she had blocked him, and she hadn't.
Dude.
Yeah, it's over, buddy.
Yeah.
I told her right on the spot that we were getting a divorce and we could either go through mediation if she agreed to every single thing I wanted, or I could get my lawyer involved and I would get what I wanted anyway. She agreed to mediation and we began that process shortly after. It took me some time to get there, longer than it probably should have, but I finally had enough respect for myself to put an end to this and go find a life of happiness that I deserve.
There you go. That's what
Good.
you should do.
She still tried to make me feel bad, blaming me and telling me how awful of a situation I was putting her in. That's crazy.
What? That's wild.
I reminded her that it was her actions that caused this, not mine, and that she had to live with the consequences. I began telling more friends about what happened along with the rest of my family. This wasn't how I ever saw my life going, but I knew it was a blessing in disguise, and I would end up with someone who truly made me happy. And we have another comment, but
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very apparent. This is not just like they're texting and chatting as friends, saying goodbye.
Right.
Come on.
If the affair hadn't been going on and you truly hadn't been talking to him, you wouldn't need a
Right.
long goodbye.
Right. It's like these words mean nothing in situations like this. Like, you have to back it up with these actions, people.
But we have a comment. First rule of successful reconciliation is always cutting the affair partner out. If that doesn't happen, it's destined to fail. I understand it's been a tough journey, and it will be a tough journey when she's finally gone, but you're slowly gaining back control of your life. I think you're at the point to realize that you'll never get good closure here on why. I suggest minimal contact. If she can't move out yet, move into another room away from her. Grey Rock and 180 only discuss divorce proceedings.
Oh, wow.
No more conversations about the relationship.
Honestly, yeah.
I agree.
If you know what you want.
I say make her move in to your future son's room that you're not having. That's where you want to have your affair. You can go sleep there. I'm staying in the room.
OP
Right.
did try to give her a chance, too.
Totally. And she multiple times, like, proved that she should not be trusted.
We have an update. After telling my ex that we were getting a divorce, the gaslighting went into overdrive.
Oh, wow. Well, points for divorce.
She blamed me, told me it was my fault that I was giving up on our marriage, that it was sad I was letting our relationship end this way, and that I was going to take away the home our dog knew. I stood strong, didn't let her get to me, and went through with divorce mediation.
There you go.
Mediation was smooth. She agreed to everything I wanted, and I received notice from the courts yesterday that I am a free man.
All right.
We sold the house within 3 months of starting mediation. She moved out a month before closing. The gaslighting continued while we lived together, waiting for the house to sell. She kept blaming me and telling me I was mean because I refused to speak to her at all, along with countless other things that only a truly sick individual would think to be true given the situation. Once the house sold, I moved back to my parents for a few months to collect myself and figure out what to do with my life. I started weekly therapy and was able to reflect on the relationship, seeing how toxic and one-sided everything was. I was the one always putting myself second and sacrificing my happiness to try to tolerate her unrealistic needs and expectations. My therapist suggested that it sounded like she had borderline personality disorder, which is a condition that runs in her family, and made total sense. I was also able to work on underlying issues that allowed me to get into such a toxic relationship. And at this point, I feel like I can identify the warning signs. I recommitted to my physical health as well, losing 15 pounds over the last 3 months and getting back into running. I'm currently training for a 10K.
Wow. Dude, you're
Good for
doing
you.
breakups right.
Yeah, getting super fit.
Yeah.
Early this month, I moved into my own place in New York. I'm reconnecting with friends I lost touch with and have started dating for the first time in my life, albeit pretty unsuccessfully at this point. And that's okay, OP. Take some time.
Yeah.
Plus, I got a promotion at work a few weeks ago that I worked my tail off for. I am mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially in a better place than I have been in years, and her showing me her true colors by having this affair was the greatest favor she could have done for me. We have a little bit left, but what you thinking?
I think you're doing everything right. I think this was like huge news that you had to realize and deal with, and I think going to therapy is perfect. That makes sense that there are other negatives to the relationship and there are other things that you have to work with.
They kind of pop up after you realize, oh, they're a bad person. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. There was so much more to this.
Right, like maybe there were
Yeah.
other bad things that this bad person
Wait
did.
a second.
Oh, maybe I didn't have to put up with all of that, and I won't in the future.
I still haven't told all of our mutual friends about the affair, as I was afraid she would get angry and tank mediation. Now that the divorce is final, I will be notifying everyone in our lives as to who she is and what she did. I guess this was all just a long-winded way of saying that things will get better. There is nothing wrong with any of us because we were cheated on. Try to use this as a launching point for making yourself better and working to become the best possible person you can be. This is going to be my last significant update here, most likely. While I don't think my journey of healing has come to an end, it's just come to a new chapter, and dwelling on what this woman did to me isn't worth it.
There you go.
That's the end of that story.
It's a beautiful way to say it.
That is a beautiful way.
Wow. Yeah, no, great job, OP. Therapy is working. Therapy
I
is
know.
worth it.
OP went to therapy and was like, I'm doing everything perfectly now.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
literally.
great.
It's just like, I have ascended.
This is exactly what I needed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice for us all, honestly.